40 years old, man. I turned.
40, man.
Yeah, dude.
That's a big one.
It's good, man. It's good to have nice people, good people, the right people. It's a weird time, man. I still feel young enough to like know what the youth is talking about, but I still feel old enough to know what the old schools are talking about. So I'm at that bridge right now. I think that's why I'm having a good time with it.
You know, what are you based in? What's your foundation? That's what's going to develop why you think the way you think. That's the way you think. For me, I'm a very empathetic person. I would love to save the masses. I think, why wouldn't you? You have to be crazy to not. At the end of the day, you go back to this foundation and you see stuff like, what do you ground yourself in? Don't cast your pearls before swine. And that's what it comes down to. Noah told everybody that there was going to be a flood. Nobody had ever seen a flood before. But he's letting everybody know. And not one person, like, you know what I'm saying, aside from his family, not one person.
In a perfect world, in a perfect home, you got the father that does that. Like you said, nah, we ain't doing this. If you got a group of homies and you got a homie that's like, hey man, it's a little tougher, that's love. Like, recognize that love. There's been times that I've gotten checked and like I hated it, you know, and I wanted to like be petty and be like, you gonna feel me, you know. But if you give it some time, dude, to like marinate, you realize, bro, like, okay, the reason I got angry is because it's true. And it is because it hits me in that nerve. Then you're left with an option. You're left with a choice. Yeah. What are you gonna do? Play the victim or man the fuck up?
The Ruffled Feathers Podcast.
Welcome, boys. Y'all look nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Man.
Thank you.
Same as well.
But yeah, man, it's been a good weekend for me.
Yeah.
We all hung out on the weekend.
Yeah, had some holiday parties, some early birthday celebrational parties.
Yeah, happy birthday, man. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The meet and greets.
The good meet and greets, the cookies stood out to me.
I'm
a cookie monster.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's why we had them on deck, because that's my shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I didn't leave very many. I ate a lot of them cookies, bro.
Yeah.
I smashed like 7 of them.
Bro, I had a secret stash because I knew I was... there was a chance I might not get any.
You know, not with me and Mario around.
The Mario. Yeah, I want to know how many he grabbed.
No, they were delicious, man. Yeah, I had one of them, only one, you know. I would normally get a few more, but I've been bad this whole week. I've been making bakery stops this whole week.
Yeah?
Dude, so, yeah.
It's hard not to right now.
Yeah, it's just that time, bro. Bulking season.
Yeah.
You know
I think it's like scientifically proven, right? That like the cold weather makes you want to like put on some extra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the squirrels and the bears and all that.
That's what I say, but I might do it in the middle of summer too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I might do it in June also. You know?
It's seasonal.
Yeah.
Every season.
I'm trying to avoid that pattern and be like, no, I'm going to do better this year, and you'll see the 6-pack by then. But I'll settle with 4.
Yeah.
It's that
It's
heavyweight.
doable.
It's that heavyweight belt. It's hard to get rid of, dog.
You're the champ.
Yeah, man.
You're the
Sometimes
champ,
you gotta own it, right?
Yeah.
Fuck it.
You can't hide that. Yeah.
You can't.
But yeah, man, 40 years old, man. I turned.
40, man.
Yeah.
Dude.
That's a big one, dude.
Congrats, dude. Congrats.
That's a big one.
It doesn't feel like it, but it's good, man. It's good to have it with nice people, good people, the right people, you know. So it's a weird time, man, because I still feel young enough to like know what the youth is talking about, but I still feel old enough to know what, you know, the old schools are talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm at that bridge right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm having a good time with it.
So if you feel like 40 wasn't that like a statement or impactful of like a number to you, what like birthday do you feel like was impactful? Like 30, 25, 18, like, you know?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
Really, it had to be 12. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because 12 is when I had the drive-by, so that kind of like changed perspective, and from there my mind was just like leveled up quick.
Damn, you were in the drive-by?
Yeah.
Or like,
You were at the targeted area?
Well, like all drive-bys, whoever's in the house is a target. It's just da-da-da-da-da. They hit us with 9 slugs, a couple different shotgun. They probably had shotgun, just whatever bullets in there, and spraying all
didn't
kinds
even
of
know.
shit. Yeah.
Just some shells.
They slugged up my brother's car pretty good, man. I remember it was a 77 Grand Marquis 2-door white on white. It was like a kind of think Cruella DeVille car. You know, like
hard.
long nose.
But
Like,
you were 12, so this would make it like,
Without-
I don't know, mid-90s, I guess?
yeah.
Yeah.
The car was a 72.
So he was kind of hard. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
tough. Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that was all fucking Swiss cheesed up. But yeah, ever since then, you know, life perspective changed.
Yeah.
And then that's when I kind of, like I said, I was supposed to be a kid, but how you be a kid when, you know, your world gets rocked, when you who cares about Santa Claus?
Yeah.
I almost died right now.
Yeah,
you know,
Like, you got hit too, right?
yeah, I got
What?
shot too. Yeah.
Where'd you get hit at?
Yeah, in the knee.
Fuck, dude.
I was asleep, man, and it just woke me up.
And this was on your birthday?
This was 7 days before.
Okay. Oh, dang. So, yeah.
So actually,
Oh shit. Because today's
What's
the
today?
16th.
oh no, yeah, it happened the 12th, I think.
So it was Thursday.
Yeah.
That's
so,
crazy.
Yeah, that whole ordeal, man, that's what kind of like made the just that
The impact.
yeah, the impact, man.
It made shit real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then I went back to school and you know, you see what kids are hanging out and doing and playing around and especially because that's middle school.
Yeah.
So you see all the middle school, like the funny bullying, the funny, like, you know, kids trying to figure out image, you know, sexuality. Kids are just starting to date each other and stuff. And I was just aware of that so much. Like, I didn't even get to, like, participate, really, because I was more just, like, spectating, like,
Yeah.
like, little children.
Yeah, your life and death.
Yeah.
They're like, I got acne. Like,
Right? I was just like, haha.
yeah.
Try this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy though, because I mean, like, it's a different perspective that not very many see, you know? Like, it's like, okay, I guess a blessing and a curse in a way.
Yeah, because I'm still not one of those, like, where I wanted to be like a statistic, you know, like, where, you know, because something traumatic happens to you, all of a sudden you're like okay to fuck the rest of your life up. Because it was, you know, oh, well, I understand. He was, you know, he went through that, you know, like, it was more like, I can't dwell on that, otherwise I'll fucking lose it.
Yeah, because you choose a path. You could go two ways with that.
Right.
Victimhood or...
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's another bird, you know, and, you know, I'll meet Pasadena, you know, Katy, Texas, whatever,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And, yeah, they're just like, nah, you know, totally different lifestyle, totally victimhood, you know?
Yeah. And I didn't want that for myself. And just seeing youth like that, that's what it opened up my eyes. Like, all right, I got plenty of time. Like,
Yeah.
Like, I did fuck with drugs heavy, though, but not because of it, which is weird, too, because, I mean, we would just smoke cigarettes first. Like, we would steal my homie's mom's cigarettes. And, like, once a weekend, just have a little Marlboro Light. And it's like, do you feel that head rush? Like, oh, man, I feel that head rush, too. And we're like 12, 11.
Bro, I freaking hated cigarettes. Like... But around the same time, I started experimenting with them too, bro. But it was just make me feel like shit. I was like, why do people do this?
Bro, I was scared of cigarettes, bro. Okay, so we're not that far in age, bro. These commercials at the time, bro, tobacco is wacko, all that shit. I mean, maybe
But which ones?
Well, all of the TV ones that are like
Of the
tobacco's
negative
wacko.
ones?
Yeah, all the
Okay.
negative ones. Because I don't think that, at least, I mean, I'm 92, so let's just say I'm
Yeah.
watching TV, remember TV around like, I don't know, 98 maybe at the
Yeah,
earliest.
because you didn't really see the fun part
Joe
about
Camel.
tobacco. Yeah.
I saw some Joe Camel, what's it called? You know, the cigarette and stuff like that over at the corner
posters
store.
and
Yeah,
shit?
at the corner store, shit like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, nah, not the cartoons though for TV. But I saw the bad shit, so I was like,
Like the one people talking with that machine on their throat?
Yeah. I'm
That
like,
fucked me up.
yeah. And then like my grandpa smoked, and I like the smell of tobacco. Like if you're smoking it, like I don't mind people smoking cigarettes, but man, I've smoked probably like 10 cigarettes in my life just to either, you know, be social
Right.
or, you know what I'm saying, try
Right.
it. Hey, these are Vietnamese cigarettes. Like, all right, fine, whatever. But yeah,
Now
So,
I went on probably from 12 to, like obviously from 12 to 14, it was just randomly here and there. But once I was 15, 16, I looked old enough and we just started buying them. And then from there to like 22.
yeah,
So it was like 7 years, real like,
cigarettes.
and then we're smoking menthols, so it
Oh,
was
yeah.
on Newports. Shout out.
Well, why?
Shout out
Yeah.
Newports.
Why would you
that
smoke
shit
anything
is
else?
hard,
Yeah, why would you
bro.
smoke anything else, bro?
Cool.
Yeah.
And Parliament menthols.
Yeah.
Them hoes were nice because they have like a little, Like there's, you know how most cigarettes they're flush with the filter. The Parliaments had like a little indentation, like it was a straw.
Yeah.
So you were right on the filter.
Yeah.
I was like, I like this.
Yeah.
I used to fuck with them Black and Miles.
The what?
The Black and Miles.
Oh.
That was my first smoke. Yeah, that was my first smoke. Yeah, I like the Black and Miles. One day I was smoking them one day though, and we were too cool, man. And we were smoking them in high school because you look old enough. And then we had, this was the time when you could still get like fake IDs, or your friends had IDs. People didn't care, like
if
there was
they
no
asked for them,
scanning and all that shit. So yeah, man, because I was like 5'11". I think the dude's ID that I had was like 5'4", something ridiculous. But
Look at that.
But yeah, we were buying the Black and Miles, and we were cool as hell getting into the club underage, all that type of shit.
Yeah, that was me too.
But
man.
that was, that's the thing. And then, man, one day
too.
we were in front of a whole bunch of chicks. I'm smoking a Black and Mild, Mr. Cool, and then, bro, all of a sudden I just break out in like a full tobacco sweat. Every pore of my body, bro, my ankles were sweating. Everything on me, bro, was sweating. So I'm still trying to be cool and like
was there like a nice one that was there that was making you
they
think
were
a little
all-
bit?
they were all nice. They were all
It was a
nice.
situation.
You were hitting it extra.
Yeah.
You
So
were
yeah.
nervous, so
We're
you're like,
just,
bro, you probably turned pale and shit.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. And so
It was
yeah,
them honeys, bro.
We all do stupid shit for the honeys. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm just out there. We're doing it, and then I'm just like, nah, I can't do no more. And it got to a point where I had to take my shirt off. I'm like, man, fuck. Like, I'm not even worried about no chicks right now. Like, hey, I'm about to drown in sweat. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Was Diddy there?
Nah,
it sounds like that's never happened to me before.
dude, hey, man, I don't know how my body reacts to stuff, bro, but yeah.
Well, he had a little
had it?
extra. Not from that.
Dude, so like I've had it from cigarettes, like
A tobacco sweat?
Yeah. So like that's probably why I don't like them, cause like if I'm like caught up in a conversation, or if I'm drinking, if I was drunk and I was smoking, I would do that. I would just keep hitting it. And then like you get dizzy, bro. So it's like you get like some kind of I don't know, man.
Oh yeah, because nobody taught me how to smoke a Black and Mild, so
You're inhaling. Yeah.
That shit hard.
Now I was gonna say I've had stomach aches from cigars.
Yeah.
And blacks and sweets, just just tobacco only.
Yeah.
Them sweats make you feel like shit. I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
I've had sweats like that doing drugs.
Yeah.
Where it's just like
That happened.
So
body overload.
the
Like.
world wants to know. But, you know,
Yeah.
I was gonna let the first time was I was gonna let pass, whatever. Like,
Hey, man, it's all open.
Yeah,
Because our
dude.
perspective matters, right?
Yeah.
Like just because I did drugs doesn't mean I, promote them and condone them, but obviously it's the plight to my story, so it makes sense to me to talk about it.
Yeah.
And then, you could be one of those people where you just hear from someone you respect and you're like, I'm not going to do that. And then that's a W,
Yeah.
But you might be with someone like me, like, I respect you, but I'm going to still try it.
Yeah.
With all due respect.
For
He said
myself.
what? Yeah.
With all due respect,
I
I'm
like
still going to
stomach
try it.
aches. Like,
Yeah, let's go. So,
No, that's real, man.
but that's what I'm saying. That's why 40's been so cool, because I can reflect on that type shit and then see where I've come from, and then see where I kind of want to see myself and family and friends and people move on. And yeah, man.
That's crazy. I don't know why I thought it was 39.
No, man, 40.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. Welcome.
40. Yeah. The 40 Club. You're coming.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
It's just a number, though.
It
man.
is. It
'Cause
is.
I've been graying since 29.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, nah, man. I felt like at 30 at least, like, it was just like a rejuvenation. Like, when I turned 30, it was kind of an anticipation, like, man, I'm really, like, I'm about to be 30 for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I turned 30 and, I woke up, I was still young, you know what I'm saying? Still look good, you know what I'm saying? So, I had a baddie next to me, so I was like, all right.
Yeah.
30's
I made
cool.
it.
Yeah, 30's cool, man. 30 ain't so bad, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because 40, I still don't feel, though. Like, the only thing that makes me feel 40 is my body when I, like, try to do something,
Yeah.
But other than that, like, I feel good, man. I think it's a mentality thing, too,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
also, like, I mean, health, the way you live your life, because they say, like, sin ages you. Obviously, no, we're not free from sin. I'm definitely not free from sin, but there's, like, a theory that, like, those, how they have those saints that don't, they're like, their bodies are still preserved.
Oh, like after death?
Yeah, it's because of that, because of their purity or whatever.
Like
Purity?
sinlessness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's.
But
I mean, I've been aging because of the cigarettes, the weed, the.
But also,
the
like,
ecstasy,
okay,
the,
you say you were growing. How old were you when
29.
you had Anaí?
27.
Okay, so 29, you already had a kid.
Yeah.
So the stress started helping.
But my old man, I remember by 40, he was full salt and pepper everywhere.
Yeah.
But my mom's side, they stay black hair till damn near 75, because they're more Indian.
Mm-hmm. They got the
they're more
native.
no facial hair. That's why Dr. O'Lord, he can't grow anything.
Yeah.
And then my other brother,
Damn.
they kind of.
So you got everything?
So I got the full beard, yeah. But I also got the grays because they don't have grays like they're all still black.
It goes well with your hat.
Yeah, man. Chewbacca.
Did you ever try to? Did you ever fall into like, oh, I'm gonna try to diet or whatever?
Bro, I did once and I grabbed the wrong color.
This guy's a
So that whole look like jet purple. I'm like, in my mind. In my mind.
Notice.
Yeah. But you see people like that when it's like different color and you're like,
yeah.
Cause you gotta do too much. Like, you see it and it's like everything is sharp, but their eyebrows, like, you know what I'm saying? Or that one gray hair.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Or one looks different and then it's just like, nah.
Yeah, nah. I don't think I'm gonna fight it. I might have a couple gray hairs. I don't really know. I've seen.
Yeah, I don't really
know. It hasn't been confirmed yet. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, I'm embracing it, dude. I'm kind of welcoming it. You know? I think it adds a little flavor, you know.
Well, that's why I tried, or like I thought, or I tried it because it was still like 33 when I was like, let me see what it does. And then after like I had to do it, I was like, this is fucking stupid.
You weren't getting catcalled or anything like that?
Nah, bro. I was like, yeah, dude, my fucking cat calls were down.
They're like, what a good-looking guy. Yeah.
No, but yeah, all the old ladies, they're just like, ooh, distinguished gentleman.
They said another peer.
Yeah, right. And he's younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, I like it now.
Yeah.
And everybody's been saying to me like, yeah, no, just fuck with it.
Rock it, man.
Yeah. No, I seen my dad try to do that shit, man. And it's a whole process. I'm like, nah, bro, like it's hard enough to keep up with. You know?
Right, just the beard and
yeah,
you know,
taking
baths daily as you should.
Yeah, as you should recommend it. Yeah.
He's like, I'll just do a ball whiff.
I don't know the day.
We only played 30 minutes of hacky today.
I only did cardio today, no weights.
But yeah, dude, 40s. And then we were doing all this shit too, you know, the podcast. So that's a new like change in my time. Like tattooing's been fun and it's been beautiful to me, but I've been thirsting for more because I think every 5 to 10 years you should reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just kind of get stuck.
Yeah.
And whether that's learning a new trade, learning a new hobby, like basketball too. Like I've been taking that as like a hobby / like, you know, like people do jujitsu and shit. Like you gotta train.
Yeah.
You actually
So
gotta
you're like
train.
working on certain.
Right.
You know, yeah.
It's a discipline. I mean,
Exactly.
You got
Disciplining
cones in
myself.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going left, right,
I love
staying
it.
low,
Yeah.
keeping the knees low.
I love it.
Making these young cats wonder, like, man, how old are you, man? I'm like, it's all good, man.
Yeah,
D up.
you make it look easy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't know you did 8 hours of training that week.
Right. And that shit matters, and I like that. I'm thirsting for that, and we're doing it with the podcast too. But I need something to that's like just for me.
Yeah.
And lifting weights and doing that is part of it. So
Yeah.
nah, man, y'all have anything that outside of lifting weights? Chest, right?
Chest.
That's
I
one of your
love
mental
chest,
workouts?
Dude, I love chest, man.
Yeah.
I'm on chest all day, man. So I got 2 phones, so I'll play chess on both different phones. I got a different score on each one. Yeah. It's a 100-point difference on each phone.
Oh, so you take it serious.
Yeah. And then, you know, I love going to the cafe and just, you know, sitting down. It really just shows you how people think. And it's really, it is a, I don't know how to describe it without making it sound weird, but it's like intimate, like fighting would be. It's like, just like if we were to fight each other and you become, it's like, man, you almost become closer. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with chess. Like if we were to, you know, go out and, you know, box or whatever, after it'd be like, okay, you know, I see how you think. I see, like, you know, you're a clever guy, whatever. You're really strong, however that would be.
And how you take the L or the blows. Yeah, that's how you take the punches.
Because, you know, one person might be petty and you would never think that person would be petty and try to do something cheap. You know what I'm saying? So, so I love chess, bro. It just really exposes you, you know, to how people are really thinking about stuff, how their life is. You'll see how aggressive they are or how careful they are. You know, some people, like for me, I'm a real careful, I don't like to lose any players. You know what I'm saying? And some people are so willing to sacrifice somebody to get, something else. And it's like, nah, I don't do that. I'd rather, if I keep all my players, chances are I'm going to win the game.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
I see it.
Well, the percentage is definitely higher,
Yeah.
We had some good games.
Yeah.
I never played, man. My grandpa would always try to teach me, but I was into playing gin with him, card game. But I just never got into chess, man. But
dude, we need to get a set. It's
yeah,
fun, dude.
Yeah, we gotta play, dude. We gotta play. Yeah, I had a 5th grade friend. He tried to teach me chess, and I just thought it was like a whole other. Looking back, I can see that I thought it was a whole other level of person who plays chess. Like it's a very proper thing, and I'm just like, man, I'm from the trailer park. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is cool, but I'd rather be playing checkers right now with you. You know what I'm saying? So, and then years later, I had gone to an adult camp. You know what I'm saying? So went out there and then learned how to play chess there because that's what everybody was doing. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna learn how to do this. You know what I'm saying? And got my ass whooped a couple times, but then I started winning ramen noodles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I can't.
Yeah. So that's how I became pretty decent at chess. Decent. I'm definitely not gonna tell you I'm the best, but. Yeah.
Oh, it became a little bit of survival for a second.
Yeah. Well, not
I mean,
it's
not
just
survival, but
it
could feed you.
You know what I'm saying?
It could benefit you. So I'm like, shit.
And it's
in my best interest to learn this.
Yeah, because just being competitive and it being such a smart man's game, it's like you don't ever want to feel stupid.
Right.
And so even if nothing was on the line, chess will make you feel so stupid if you don't. If somebody corners
that one move.
Yeah, takes your chick, takes your queen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's what it feels like.
Oh, like it's Mr. Steal Your Girl.
That's my favorite piece.
Yeah, it's just
to
the most
steal the
versatile.
queen.
We'll play, bro. We'll grab one.
I gotta learn, man.
It's actually really basic. Like certain moves, some pieces do certain moves, and they're limited to those moves. But once you figure that out, bro. I know some people get to like the cubes or like the squares where they name the squares. I'm not that good.
Oh yeah,
are you there already?
F3, I can't do none of that.
But it's not really necessary, bro. If you know what you're doing, bro, but you gotta be like a few.
Yeah, because I remember some of the players' moves, but like I said, as a whole, to be able to compute and then like go. Yeah.
I'll teach you.
I'm gonna have that little beginner's dumbass.
Oh, your phone probably has it.
Yeah.
Were you ever Rubik's Cube or anything like that type of stuff,
No, man, I was more a builder or a thinker or imaginative.
Like Legos and okay.
Yeah. That was my shit, was creating. But the whole I guess what would you call chess? Is it mainly a thinker's game?
Yeah,
strategy.
Strategy.
Yeah. Like I've always thought of strategy, but I've never tried to like channel it like in that. The only strategy I would do is when we were playing paintball, we would use military strategy and fight.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming this is obviously the same thing because it's just like in World War II they had this big ass map.
I was gonna say Risk if you're Risk.
Chess
I always wanted to. It was
bro.
fucking badass looking game.
I played it on a computer or whatever back in the day.
No, the board game.
I never played the board game.
The board game looked fire.
Which one?
Risk.
Oh yeah. That's fun.
It was 3D, right?
Yeah. We had like little things that moved.
Yeah.
But no, those games are fun.
Battleship.
Yeah.
Battleship is fun. But Battleship ain't no strategy,
Like the odds aren't that great. The odds are very great. Like you have very, very limited space to call,
everybody's gonna put it really within the same parameters of like 4 squares or whatever of each, what I'm saying?
North, south, east, west. Okay. I know where it's at.
It just depends how you throw your bombs, Some people just try to go
random
and you never figure out till later.
But see, like that was some good times too, man. When those games were like a thing.
Thinking
video games were out, but people were still into table games and like family would get together and play like that, you know.
And even the video games were, you know, interactive to a degree because it'd be like, man, we all got to go to Bird's house to play the video games because our parents can't afford the system. So, we're at his house playing video game and, you know, we're all taking turns rotate. You know, we're learning how to interact with each other because, no, you lost, bro. You got to, we don't care if it's your house or not, you lost. Like, you know, you got to give up, you know. Yeah, so.
And that almost doesn't change for me in any game I play. Like, we be like that on Hacky Sack. Like, nah, dude, dude, that's the wrong fucking rule, bro. Like, it's a rule in the game. You gotta commit. Same thing with basketball. Like, I can't let a double dribble go. Like, come on, like, no, like you made the basket too. Like,
that's why they're in place, you know. Like,
right. So the rules matter, especially in society, and you know, I feel like that's what sports or games like that bring. You know that being able to combat someone but still, you know, shake hands afterwards.
That's important.
And be like, Dad, you had me, man. Like,
that's why kids should start sports early.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like they
something.
You gotta take that L.
Like whatever's at your level, you know.
Right. Because I go to Leo's games and like whenever they win, I at the end of the game, I'm always like, good game, yellow.
Yeah.
I scream it across to the other team, you know, and everybody's like, the fuck? What the fuck you mean?
But that's
a good
long.
game.
Oh, y'all don't do all the teams clap hands after?
They do the line up, you know, but still, you know, just to show love.
Oh,
I mean, they're
especially
having
for children.
fun and shit. Yeah.
You're not saying good game, Jags. The Broncos did great.
Mary's out there fucking cursing out the ref, and I'm like, hey, yo, chill.
Nah.
So, no, he's not calling. He's calling bullshit calls. I'm like, yo, it's for the kids.
Hey, rules matter, though. Rules matter.
Yeah.
We were like that in baseball. You know,
Yeah.
because my dad helped organize the league. So during T-ball,
oh nice,
we were. He was a big part of the league, like the people that helped build it and stuff. Because we didn't have anything over here in the hood to play baseball.
Well, no way, that's big.
Yeah. So him and another real estate dude from the area and a couple other like small business owners, they all teamed up and built the little league for us. And I remember him reading the handbook of the rules of baseball and. You know, then he would read another rule book or how to coach. You know,
because he didn't like really know anything. He was just trying to give y'all like something to do.
Give opportunities.
That's what's up, dude. Yeah.
Dude, so Lanier Middle School, my class, we started their soccer team.
Oh, for real?
We got a petition and we got it all signed, bro, and we had to get our reading coach our reading teacher to be our coach. But nice. I mean, these things. So to this day, I believe they have a soccer team. Yeah, can you check that, nigga? Lanier Middle School
soccer team,
Lanier Purple Pups. But I mean, like, things like that, bro. It's like what creates fruits, you know. Like those are planting those trees.
Right, but that's a community seed, right?
Right.
And that's why I stress that through the show. It's just like I want us to figure this shit out between us first. So if you're losing a friend because you vote a certain way, or if you're losing a friend because you have a certain opinion on something, like, those people don't realize they're creating the division. Like, if somebody's telling you they're the evil ones and you're listening to them, it's still not their fault. It's your fault for fucking falling for it and not listening to me or you or whoever give their opinion, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what freaks me out about today, because I've never seen it like that. You know, in the 90s, it was violent, right? But it was like individual violence.
Yeah.
It wasn't no pussies just deciding to go shoot up, you know, a group of people that had no chance.
Yeah.
That's psychological changes, you know? Back then it was more like, just more tribal. Like, oh, motherfucker, this is my hood. Nah, you ain't wearing the wrong colors, blood. Like, and then it's just, you know, like that. Now it's all psychological, like the Joker, you know, the Joaquin Phoenix Joker.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at, I think. Obviously, it's not as dramatic as that movie, but in a sense, it is.
But it's like, I mean, the thing about this all is that it was intentionally made, and it just worked exactly how they planned it to be, or very close to it.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, how fucked up is that really?
Is this Joker 2, y'all? The one that just came out?
Well, just
no,
that
I haven't
character.
seen that one.
Just the
first one.
Just the character. Just the way
Number one, then. Number one. I haven't seen 2.
Okay, yeah, I heard it.
I heard it was a fucking sing-along.
I tried it, but I was working. So
I tried it, but it's not my thing.
I put it on, but I was working, so I didn't even really pay attention to it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just think it's crazy that we're there, bro. And like, as as smart of a humankind that we are, you know, like society, like, and as creative as we are, and as like efficient as we are, like we can like make things, you know, we can create things that make us better or make our lives easier, but we reserve it to certain people or to people that can't afford it or shit like that, you know. But all that plays a part, whatever you were just talking about, you know.
Yeah, well,
making the people crazy.
Just like we're talking about the CEO that got shot for United Healthcare. Like everything, I think everybody or every group has a member, and it can be your race, it can be your line of work, tattoo artists. They all have those people in that group that fuck it up for everyone, or they give them a bad name. And then I think people tend to forget, like, a lot of these people are like that. Like, you have shitheads in high positions. It's usually through corruption.
Yeah.
It's not because, you know, they fuck some fuck their way to the top, but usually not dudes. And then usually...
Shit, that's Diddy.
Yeah, shit.
I think he just had one he had to fuck. The rest he did out of pleasure, but...
right.
That's another conversation about Ari. But, yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But shit, where was I going with that? Basically, I lost it.
But somebody, you know, basically ruining it for everybody else.
No, but people getting into positions.
Oh, yeah, these people getting these positions of power, so now capitalism has a bad name.
Yeah.
Or back then, only bikers and drug or gang members did tattoos. So now you're a gang member or biker.
Yeah, if you have tattoos.
Right. So like all these little stereotypes of these small groups get put on you as a whole. You know, you can't make anything nice of it. But now tattoo became mainstream. So, like tattoos aren't seen like they were back then. Same thing. The CEOs, they're all seen a certain way because they don't explain to them, well, yeah, there's a greedy few, but look what all these other good guys did, like Tim Cook, all these Steve Jobs, all these other guys. You might not agree with what they've done to get there in terms of making decisions.
Yeah.
But what they do, that greater good of employing everybody, of creating the iPhone, that's through capitalism.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's the only way a poor person can really come up on their own without needing the government, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's through capitalism.
It's through capitalism.
Yeah.
Because that's how they did it back in the day. It was like, you could only trade so many chickens and eggs and cows before everyone already had that. So you had to come up with something to be like, well, you don't have this, and then I'm just going to sell this blanket for the rest of my life, and now my family can do whatever it wants.
Yeah.
And then
so that's basically the states, right?
Well, that's just basically humans to me, like freedom.
Yeah. But so are some places they have a blog for that? Like
Well, yeah, I mean, when you go into a socialist society, they distribute your wealth.
Right, okay.
So you don't get to create something that's great for you. They say is like, well, you created something great, share it with everyone else, which is a nice sentiment. But really what happens is the guys that say where the money goes, they keep.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
But it goes like that in the other side too.
Right.
Yeah, but in that way, the person who actually created the business gets the wealth.
Yeah.
So they get to decide, am I going to be an asshole or am I going to be a good boss that pays you what you're worth, who gives you the time off, who you have the good insurance, you know, you have all these, you know, you want a day off? All right, we got you. What business were we talking about earlier that, Papacitos?
Oh, no, Papacitos, yeah.
Not Papa's,
Papa's brothers.
Well,
yeah,
Papa's,
is
the
a-
Papa's, the
yeah,
Houston
yeah,
Papas,
yeah,
they treat their people well. Like, they treat their employees well. I know a lot of people that have stayed in those jobs for a minute. Cause
Who is it? Is it Landry's, right? Like
No,
No.
not Landry's.
This is the Papas family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
They're separate.
No,
Right.
Yeah, they treat their people really well. Yeah.
That's how you should, because it's like that's how you get employees to stay and to be loyal to you.
Chick-fil-A?
That's how you get functional employees.
I can say, bro, I was when I was younger, I applied at Gringos, and they were in there buzzing about how somebody's trailer got caught on fire like right before Christmas. They got this guy's a whole new trailer and everything, like a new trailer, you know, and you know how important, you know what I'm saying? Like some people are like, trailer, but like, you know, like if that's what you,
life.
yeah, that's,
Right.
I, you know, that's where I'm from, a trailer.
Right.
So it's like, that's, you know, to some people like that's that standard of living. So, but they went and bought the dude a whole new trailer, and then like, bought a whole, mouth of teeth for him too, because I think he had some jacked up teeth. And that's a hard conversation to have. You know what I'm saying? Be like, hey, bro, you got fucked up teeth. Like, we're just gonna buy it all. Don't say nothing. But
that's love.
Yeah, but that's love though, because some people don't even know that, like, hey, this pain in my mouth. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But you also gotta be humble enough to take the help.
Yeah,
you
take
know
the
what I'm
help.
saying?
Yeah,
Like,
because
man,
not everybody
like,
will. Yeah. So,
and
so
brave
shout out
enough.
gringos too.
Right.
They take care of the people.
Yeah.
And my whole point of view is like, if those shithead bosses like keep treating their people like that, somebody at some point should be smart enough to like, you know what, let me create their competition so that you can, with your money, we talked about that on the other episode, vote with your money.
Yeah.
Same thing. You vote with your, what business you support with your money.
Yeah.
And then those companies naturally just fall away to the wayside because they're crooked.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I don't want to say I necessarily just feel bad for that CEO dude or whatever, but it's just like, man, you don't come up on somebody with a gun and just murder them, like,
right.
Like
from
give
the back.
them
in
like,
cold blood.
You want if he came up there and just boxed the dude and posted him and then beat his ass that way, whatever, cool. But like a gun is crazy, dude.
Yeah,
like,
and he shot from the back too.
Right.
Yeah, that ain't it.
And it was super premeditated.
Oh, dude, how do you
That
already
shit,
have
that
the
boy-
fake IDs and everything and ready? And
But there's some.
Why does he have
shit,
him
like-
with him though?
Yeah.
with him, and then too, bro, they said that they had called that meeting like the day before or the night before or whatever. So it's like, how does this guy know that this guy is gonna be here at that time by himself an hour before the meeting even started? It's just like, it's all fishy to me. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, somebody had to tell him, right?
But people are just raving that this guy is a hero. This what I keep wanting to say Giovanni. Luigi?
Yeah.
That boy Giovanni. But yeah, bro.
But it's like that other dude that got locked up. Remember, I forgot what he got locked up for, but his mugshot, he was all tatted up. And he was like a pretty boy, and they're all like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The girls were all on that shit. They were like sending them like marriage proposals and shit.
Yeah, but see, that's more of like an attraction with this guy. I mean, it's an attraction as well, but you can also definitely see
it's
like the political side, or what would you call it? I guess just like the vigilante.
Yeah, but it's like, dude, like in today's day and age, it is a very, very like, what would you call that? Like, powerful event, right? Or like a powerful happening, because it's like that sends multiple messages.
Yeah.
In multiple angles, because it's like.
Yeah,
the story that everybody was making in their own heads was that like, oh, he lost his mom or something, and they fucking denied him, so they fucking killed. And that's justifiable, bro. Like everybody mostly gonna be like,
people wanted him to be the victim so bad. They saw this guy get murdered and still made up a whole story.
But think about it though, bro, because you look at it on the other side. Like, how many people are under his belt? How many people did he take out from his word, from his signature that he just failed to sign, failed to say? He probably just said, no, fuck them. Easily.
No. Look, I think he's a scumbag for what he does.
So do you know what he does though? Like he has like a record they said or something?
We can check this out. He
Pull
short
up
sold
the-
some stocks, heavy. He was supposedly gonna testify about some shit, and he had also signed some like pretty much rules on denial.
But
okay, like how to deny somebody easily.
Right.
But dude, he on the bullets, he had like markings on the bullets, right? He had like letters on the bullets. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
Oh, like I heard about that.
Which
Yeah,
is
he
what
sketched
their
it in.
tactics. It's like the tactic that they use, like deny, depose, and something.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Obviously, from my perspective, it's easy for me to say, yeah, this guy could have saved many lives. I don't know about that.
Who, the vigilante?
No. The guy
Andrew
yeah.
dude? Okay.
Because it's like United Healthcare. I mean, like healthcare should be priority in our country, and it's not. It's all about money.
I mean, but bro, like going back to capitalism, bro, like you put yourself in this position, you want to go buy I'll use myself as an example. You want to go buy an Audi A6 or whatever, and you don't have the money to do an Audi A6 type stuff, like, or you want to go get like the safe route, and do the Yoda, the Honda, whatever. Like, people are putting themselves to a degree, like, you know what I'm saying, to a degree, and they want to find somebody to blame, but they eating hot Cheetos for 27 years. And then they're like, oh, I got ulcers. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I need you to pay for it because I work for you.
Right.
Like, because it's mandatory to have, take care of your employees or whatever, if you're full-time or whatever, right? And I think that there's a balance in that. Like, I think maybe there is, a standard with it. but why do you expect your employer to give you the best health care?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not shopping it on the open market by yourself and shit like that, like, you, at that point, you kind of get what you get. Like, and if you got your 2 dental health checkups and your little, your once a year exam or whatever, that's what you get, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
your deductible is $15,000.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's the one you chose because it was
less
$55 a month.
Right,
Man,
right.
bro, but even like car insurance. You know, I mean, like, dude, like the thing is, like, like the prices that or the tags that they put on these, right, or like the policies that they put on them, bro. It's like, for the money you spend, like, it's not really fair for like the trade off, right? And it's like you don't have great options. Obviously, you could go on Obamacare and then go to the cheaper stuff and like the cheaper hospitals or whatever, right? But it's like other countries have healthcare that they provide, right, and it's the same everywhere. But
but those aren't like beacons of great healthcare either.
Yeah. That's
but
not the best thing.
So is that like those countries' top healthcare like providers, or is there levels?
They
to
probably
it too?
have privatized as well. That
They do have
none of the
privatized
government,
stuff.
none of the
If you have
government
the money,
uses.
you can.
So you're like, so if you want to go to a better doctor, you can
can.
just privately.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But see, this is the thing again, is like people are still going to blame the country. Oh, Europe has, blah, blah, blah. No,
Yeah.
like, where are you at? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Why
like,
are you still drinking the Dr. Pepper with the
drinking
hot
Dr. Pepper,
Cheetos?
Yeah, why don't you?
For dessert, when for
mhm.
lunch you had the Whataburger,
mhm.
and then for breakfast you had McDonald's hash browns with the fucking McFlurry.
Yeah, not going on walks, and this is the point, like, it's not like people don't know, people just don't do it. Like, so, and they just want to put themselves in such a victim position that it's just like, hey, this is the wild, like, this is not a civilized society, no matter what country you go to, like, this is still the wild. And I think, like, again, going back to patriotism of America or whatever, it's like, yeah, I love the United States and America and stuff, but also if you start going to where, oh, healthcare is just going to be given to everybody, which sounds great. On paper, that sounds awesome, but like, who's paying for that, bro?
Yep.
Like, and this person over here is going to continue smoking cigarettes on a ventilator, and you want to pay $80,000 per
On that?
on that for
On those bad decisions?
Yeah. Same thing as like when they give a prisoner life or something like that. It's just like, bro, why are we wasting time here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that sounds awful. Like, you know what I'm saying? But,
Right.
like,
Somebody's paying for that shit.
Yeah, because when it comes down to me hitting potholes and messing up my tire on the way to work, I'd rather that be taken care of than whatever y'all doing over here. You know what I'm saying? So, but
I mean, that's true.
But we all have a story about a family member who's been really fucked up or messed up or whatever, and
For me, I feel like healthcare should be just that, like emergencies. So if you're diagnosed with something, car accident, we should cover that. Any like ER visits, I think, if I'll come to that.
See, something that's logical.
And then like regular doctor checkups.
And ethical too, right?
Outside of that, you go buy your insurance that will cover your, you get, a long stay or.
Well, I even heard the insurance is what's really keeping the prices so unaffordable because like they're taking 18 months to approve the hospital. So you got your, x-rays, whatever today, that costs the hospital, $3,000 or whatever. They pay that bill today. Well, they're going to charge you, let's just say $8,000, but it still costs them some sort of overhead because they're still paying salaries or whatever, right? So they pay that or whatever, but the insurance company takes 18 months to pay that out. And this is just from talking to other like people in that field, the medical field. They're going to take this long to pay it out, so they have to charge $8,000 to you because it's just like an interest loan. Yeah. It's like if you go to the car loan, they're not giving you. You're not paying $20,000 back on that Malibu or whatever. You're paying back, 27. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's like, hey, this is the cost whenever you don't have the bread. Because if you go to that same institution, you say, I have a broken arm, and it's like, oh, it's 8 bands. Here's $2,500. Here's $3,500. Whatever. Like, they're gonna talk to you, like, you know what I'm saying, cash on front, because they got a bill in 30 days, like, you know what I'm saying, due to.
But what they were supposed to do with Trump, and they still hadn't done it, was whenever you go to the doctor, ER, hospital, it's supposed to be like a menu. If we say you need this is the one cost, and they have to be, because that's what they don't do. Like, yeah, we'll take care of you, and then you get the bill. You're like, what the fuck? Like, we're already okay. I'm thinking at least 1,000. Because we're already, have that mindset. Like, I got to expect a high bill, even though I was just there for 20 minutes. Yeah. I don't care. Like, that interest per second is high.
It's high,
So I understand what you're saying on that side, but on the let's be real, because most of their equipment, what they're charging is paid for quick.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That turnaround is paid for at a month tops.
Yeah.
And then they hold it for another 5-10 years. So they're still, hustling and bustling. So
let's say we go with the direction you're talking about. What if we do say like, okay, we'll get everybody right or whatever. What if something like that would collapse the economy? Because like this makes up 12% of, or maybe even more probably. But
of healthcare?
Of annual GDP.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So this
because healthcare is like one of the highest things we spend on as a government.
Yeah.
So now, do we have a number on it?
We can pull it up, but it's one of the higher. It's probably the number 1 or number 2 expenditure that we use as a government is healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but look how much it sucks because we control the healthcare now as a government.
So if money is an issue, I mean, there's money going elsewhere that it shouldn't be going. This is why the country should stay within the country and help
home
itself.
first.
Well, that too. Yeah, that's a separate issue. That's a separate, but
in the same.
It's like I don't want to like facilitate it for everybody, right? But it's like it can be.
Well, because these are different departments now that you're getting into. Because we're thinking as
Right.
citizens, government as a whole, but it's like, well, this is just the healthcare department. That was their budget. Signed, sealed, delivered.
Yeah.
This is the international budget. They don't even see each other in the hallway. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Right.
That's a different checkbook.
So a different page.
Yeah, so that money's not even going to be allocated. It was never even considered to hit that direction. So,
But it will actually, when I think about it, it is all part of a
1.6
budget.
trillion? Yeah.
So in a sense, on that budget scale from the beginning,
I think it's the manipulation and the lying and the scheming behind it all. Because it's
Yeah.
all in the wording, right? Like we've talked about it before. Like they'll sneak it in there. Like,
But see,
we're going to give this money and this policy is for this, but we're going to send five.
So
Right.
we go to the Galleria, right? We've all been to the Houston Galleria, right? You seen those dudes who hang out in front of, I think it's Neiman Marcus, with the little bottle cap game, and they got the little ball in there.
okay.
And you're gonna see them do the whole thing,
yeah.
and they'll be like, and they'll be like, first games for free or whatever. You
Yeah.
know, so you'll see everybody come over there. It's interesting to see. So you go see it or whatever, and then of course everybody's right, and so
Yeah.
$100 next game. So if someone wants to pull up, and then you get tricked.
Yeah.
You decide to participate in these foolish games,
Yeah.
like.
This is true. I get
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You like, people are getting upset because they're participating in a game that wasn't created for you to win. This is
Right.
a for-profit
Yes.
business. Like, so again, like, outside of maybe like breaking your arm or like, specific cancers and stuff like that, if we kind of just had more proactive mind to just like health in general, stuff like that. They do say that we spend that bread on gym memberships and healthcare products as well. So like protein powders, there's like a big, what's it called, as far as the regular citizen is spending that personally on that. So, I mean, I don't know what it is. I guess we're just trying to do both at the same time, because I know I'm going to eat fajitas on Saturday.
But that's
Yeah.
a healthy balance. That's something I've learned as a former fat kid who's still recovering.
Yeah, likewise.
Like the food is good. Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I'll eat some. Like we had Doritos this weekend, and we had some fucking Cheetos, and the shit was good. But like, I know because I'm aware now of what's in it, what it does to the body, what it does to your mind and your brain, and your function, and your energy, and all that.
Yeah.
That's why I don't give it to my kids. They complain about it, like, oh, Dad, you get the off-brand stuff. I'm like, Shh.
They're gonna
I
thank you
wish
for
this
that
was.
later. Yeah,
It's a $6 bag, and it's only half of that, but you're
Yeah.
getting the good stuff that's not gonna mess you up.
Yeah.
And it's a harder lifestyle to live like that when it's everywhere. But like you said, like, it takes you to make the decision.
Yeah.
You can't blame everybody else.
Yeah,
And-
diabetes, I have high
Right.
blood pressure, whatever that type of stuff is. Like, it don't run in your family. Your family been making that same stuff for,
Yeah.
120 years now. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So.
And also, dude, like really, like if you don't eat, like if you only eat to fuel your body and like drink some good juices or like stuff that you need, dude, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
It really is. And with a little bit of exercise a day, and like that could be eliminated. Cause I don't go to the doctor that often, dude. My whole life, I mean, nothing serious, like maybe some shit that was like an infection in my nose that fucking went a little too long. That kind of scared me a little bit, but that's all it was, an infection, you know?
Yeah.
But
Nothing to see here.
right. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No,
besides other than that, I mean, thank God, by the grace of God, I've never broken a bone or never needed anything like that,
But it's not an issue that you're really gonna see in any other. They're not having this discussion on a podcast in Mexico right now or in Europe right now. Like, we're the only country that's really dealing with this, as far as like the reason why why people are dying, I think the top one is like like heart issues or something like that.
Heart disease?
Yeah, heart disease.
In America?
Yeah. In America,
Yeah,
it's like
for
the top
sure.
1 or 2.
Yeah.
And so, you look at that and it's just like, no, like, so.
What is the cause of those?
It's everything we just talked about.
Well,
Yeah, but
I
also
think it's
there's
just that
stress, bro.
well-
Stress in America is the highest.
Well, bro, like it's still up to us, bro. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
that's-
saying?
It
I
is.
was gonna
It's
say.
still up to us.
It is.
Because we still trying to blame
Yeah.
America. Like, nobody want to say, Jeremy is just a dumbass. Like, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause that's probably
You're
what
right,
it is.
bro,
Like, you know what I'm
you're
saying? Because that dude ain't been, saving his money. He ain't been treating his mother right. So his relationship with his family's bad. Like, he can't rely,
energy's bad, yeah.
So just all these other things. He don't read. Like, you know what I'm saying? We got all these books, free books you can get in America, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's-
Libraries, all kinds of shit.
Yeah. If you
Bro,
want to learn
you're
about
right,
anything,
man.
bro, you can go to
That's
YouTube.
it.
You want to get rich, any of that type of stuff. But people scrolling on Tinder or
Making
just
excuses.
yeah, whatever they doing. I get caught up on the
Damn,
reels and
that's
stuff
real.
sometimes too. So
Yeah,
I know
we're all victims to it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm still
I'm
recovering
a
from that
victim
kid.
too.
Yeah,
But like
man.
you said earlier too, dude. Like it's up to us. It's our responsibility.
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
That's
To
why I
make
brought
those
up
changes.
my childhood of getting shot in the drive-by, because I had that moment to be like, am I just gonna be a drug addict kid, and just
Yeah.
and just
I got shot.
yeah, like oh my it hurt, my life's over, like
Where the Zans
I'm not
at?
like
Yeah,
there's danger
yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
I just but instead it's like, you know what, peep game always,
Yeah.
but enjoy every day you got.
Yeah.
And then from there, obviously I mutated as I got older and had more life experiences and shit. But
Yeah.
at least that was my grounding and my foundation. It was just like, peep game, watch everybody, make sure you know who friendly is, make sure you know who an enemy is. Once you feel good, you can let those people in. But for the most part, just, worry about yourself and your happiness and love that day you're in.
So you were okay. So to go to a different level with it, then. So do you think you were born with that mindset already there? Like it doesn't matter whatever situation everybody goes through, like their little thing, or whatever. Do you think that was an intrinsic thing, or do you think that was something that maybe you had learned through kind of like your life until that point?
Maybe intrinsic, because when I look at my old man and how he is, we're both from December too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say what you
Kind of
want
like some
about
astrology.
on some spiritual astrology shit.
Yeah, like the moon was right there.
I don't know if it's true or not, but when you read them, I'm like, okay, I guess they could be vaguely to everyone.
I mean, dude, some of that stuff makes sense, man.
But yeah, you meet certain personalities. You're like, oh, I understand why you're from July, because they're all kind of little fiery, and like my daughter, she's a fiery one. Like, but is it because of that, or is it because that's just who she is? And
July what?
25th.
Who?
Katya.
Oh, nice.
She's a little Leo. Leo.
Yeah.
those
I think
Leos
that's
are
Navy's
fire.
birthday.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
around
shit,
there.
it might be June.
We're not cutting that.
Yeah, no, she's June 25th.
June 25th.
Nary's
Yes,
June
you're
25th.
right.
Sorry, baby.
Yeah.
She won't watch this shit.
Not this far.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think watching my old man, like, because he came over here from Mexico as a teen, and actually he just recently told me his story, and I had never known it up until this point. And that's how Mexican families are, man. Like, they don't. If you're from over there, man, it's you pretty much
private,
it's just a lot of discipline, and then just like no love.
Yeah.
My mom was different because my mom's from Texas, third generation Texan, Mexican Texan. I don't know if we were already here as a Mexican people in Texas, and then when Texas got taken over, or won, we were already here, so we just became Texans. But
Yeah.
I have a strong love for Texas because of that.
Yeah.
So, but they grew up speaking perfect English and Spanish. My dad just grew up speaking Spanish. For you to go to a new country and then take the time to learn the new language, and then go work and create a small business that ends up bringing the rest of your family over, and you're able to take care of your family, and that's a heavy mindset to me. So me and him are the same in a lot of senses, but we're different too, because I'm more like my mom, where I can still find the compassion in things and like, hey, hold on, like that's still fucked up. Like,
Yeah.
Even though he was wrong and he shouldn't have done that, like that shouldn't have happened either.
Yeah.
So like, let's look out for that guy a little bit.
Yeah, you didn't have to hit me that hard.
Yeah. Old man's just like, nope. He loves Judge Judy. Like, he's like, she's right. She's right.
I think I slipped like this. Yeah, for real. Oh, geez.
But I got that balance of the two. But
I mean, but I think it's good to be exposed to that, because if you're too soft, then when you're like older, you don't understand like the situations. Or like, why, what the fuck? You know?
And that's what we're living through now. A bunch of people who are so soft because they've lived in a country that was pretty much peaceful for a few decades. From the, I would say from the 2000s on, we really hadn't been through a lot of shit since 9/11.
Yeah.
So all these kids were born right then and there, so they just lived in a home of peace.
Yeah.
So then, people start to get, just like in a rich family where you just, pay your kid and they get whatever they want. You never see them though. You never discipline them though, but they got all the money they need to do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
We're living through that now, where that group has grown up and they're not our age, but they're of legal voting age and they're becoming adults coming out of school and shit. And I think that's why we're seeing this kind of like clown world.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, it's just crazy, talking to like, 23-year-old friends, 24-year-old friends, and like their standard of like what's cool, or like, man, let me show you this really cool song. You're gonna love this. Okay, you don't want to be like, the last 10 have been awful. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you'll listen to it and you're just like, damn, bro, like y'all are just brain rot. Like nothing important, like. But yeah, because it's, because our music or whatever, I think was more, at least like, a lot of hip hop or whatever would be more struggle music or whatever.
Right.
This is just like, how they used to say it used to be hustler music, now it's like drug addict music.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
It's like, dude, why are they doing all that stuff there? Why are they robbing, people like, who hurt them? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but.
They're like those videos of the kids. You seen those dudes walking through New York and they'll just knock out an old lady?
Oh, yeah. It's funny.
Yeah, but that's the type of like mentality that type shit promotes, where it's just dumb violence, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess, and I guess that did start with us with like Jackass and stuff like that, so I guess we
but that was pranks.
Yeah, I mean,
Jackass was like self-harm.
I thought Jackass was so dumb, and I swear it was like the other day I was watching a reel, and then I saw the hand one where he slaps him.
That's a good one.
That's the only time
the hands like this big.
Yeah. That's the only time I watched that several times, literally just laughing out loud in the middle of my living room by myself. But
that's what I'm saying. Like dumb, good laughs like that are necessary for the struggle of life.
Yeah.
I had a homie ask me like, how can you be someone who believes in the higher creator and all that, but still smoke weed? Like he's like, he struggles with that. I was like, cuz man, like weed's from the earth. Weed was on this planet. We didn't, nobody created it in the lab. It was just found, and we, just like oregano and all these other herbs, we learned how to use them for their medicinal purposes. And I feel like shit like that is to help with the struggle of what happens in this world that we have no control over.
Yeah.
I have no control over being born in '84, living through 2024, and seeing, dudes being chicks being dudes. You telling me I have to take this vaccine. Like up until this point, like I said, we've been living in peace.
Yeah.
So it's weird for me to see that shift right now, because I didn't live through 1940 in the 1940s when World War II was happening, when your homies are getting shipped off. Like that's one of those real life moments.
Yeah.
Or like, fuck, I gotta go.
Yeah. A friend comes back with one leg.
Yeah. Vietnam.
Yeah.
We talked about Roy Benavidez, like who's
yeah.
kinfolk.
It's crazy.
But like that type of shit, we have really never had to deal with. Obviously, 01 was the last of it, but I wasn't old enough to go into the service then. I was probably 16, 17. So, but even then, like that was a war fought over there. It's out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
And then it was. Like Jarhead, like the war for a lot of guys was way different from the combat guys, because a lot of the guys were just in bunkers and shit and just spending time. It's just been different ever since then. And for us to be in relative peace, and now you see what people are like warring over, which is the stuff I was just talking about, like, they are, the sexes are fluid. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's a social construct.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, so is saying yes and no to each other. That's a social construct
see,
through
that's
language.
You say I don't like that. It's also a social
Yes, no.
construct. Yeah.
But that's a spiritual war. That's part of the spiritual war, you know, the separation. But also, people are waking up to the other shit, like the real wars and stuff. I saw a video today. I don't know if I saved it, but it was a military or army guy talking about, like, man, like, we have to stand up. Like, we're soldiers, you know, and like, we are told that we're fighting for our country and for freedom and for certain things. Like, that's what we need to fight for. If we don't agree with what that war is about, we should not. We should stand up and say no. Like, we're not gonna fight your war. We're not. And I thought that was great.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that was amazing to see, because it's like, it is a scary time that we live in, but it's also beautiful, man. Like, everything that's happening, you know, like I mean, I know that Trump's promising a lot of stuff, you know, RFK, and it's exciting, because what they're promising is good, is more towards feeding our souls, feeding our future.
Exactly. Everything we talk about on this podcast.
Yeah.
And people can't see that because they've been propagandized by such a large scale that it, to me, it's still quite amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I think our every day is a propaganda commercial, or
right, at every
marketing
corner.
Or like,
it's just so easy to fall into that, man. Like, the victim thing, it's, you know, to fall into victimhood, bro, it's just like such a great default to be like, it's not my fault. You know what I'm saying? And say like, oh, you know, that's why I'm not with the girl I want to be with, have the money or the lifestyle I want to have, live where I want to be at. Like, you know, like, and it's so easy to say, well, if my job was paying me more, you know, whatever type of stuff. So I think that's what it all comes down to, because it's just, you know, it's hard to wake up at 5, you know, and go off of 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and, you know, still keep up with the gym, or, you know, have a family and still go to work and everything. Like, that's not, and decide not to eat a donut. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, eat an egg taco.
Good,
But be like, I'll wait till Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
And be mentally strong enough to say, you know what? Okay.
Because it's just a lack of discipline in people.
That's what it is, dude. Discipline,
lack of discipline, bro. Because, you know, you look at us as a nation as well, because we are soft. Because we're talking about it, you know, I think, like, for the viewer, it almost seemed like we're talking about it in, like, a global view. This is, like, specifically, again, like, America, like, you know.
For me, it's
it's just like, you know, people are, what's it called? You know, what was it, that era where everybody starts getting divorces and stuff, you know, whenever they started doing, and not that child support is bad in any type of manner, you know, like on paper, but the way that everything has been going, you know, it's such an incentive to kind of leave the father. And you know, I lived a portion of my life with my father and then a portion of my life without, and being able to see the difference in it, and then being able to compare to friends, like, oh, that's why my dad said I couldn't do this, because you see later on, like, you know what I'm saying?
What happens if you don't?
Yeah. So,
I mean,
but like, you know, it's a fatherless nation, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know, parentless nation, because even if you have both parents, they're probably both working or whatever, you know, so.
It's attack on the fathers and masculinity.
And the family.
Because for your dad to be like, you know, a lot of people, you know, just watching stuff and, you know, being around other families and stuff, it'd be like, you know, people get mad when the father does assert that aggressive role, like that dominant, like, hey, we're not doing this. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you can see when the mother kind of, like, you know, kick back or not kick back, but, like, you know, step in or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so.
Well, we live in a traditional household too.
Let's go.
Where my mom didn't work.
Yeah.
She worked harder being a mother. and my old man took care of everything else.
Yeah.
And so that meant he got to come home, relax, watch TV, had dinner made, but he was also working, creating a business, taking care of his family, taking care of the community, building baseball teams, and for women to be told what my mom did was beneath her.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that? That, you know, that...
It's like, girl, you work at Costco.
That's what I'm saying. Like, bitch, you an accountant, but you're 45 and single and hating life.
Yeah.
Because why? Because you thought that was beneath you, and now you're looking for it?
Yeah.
And now you're getting artificially, you know... making babies in you? Like, yo, that's not how we're supposed to be. The lions don't do that out there. If the Bengal tiger is not going to make it, outside of them being hunted, you know, like certain animals died off because they just couldn't adapt. And then we're just adapting the wrong way right now. Because like birth rates are down, like they say that's a real big deal, and even though on the agenda, like that's the whole point.
Yeah.
The world agenda is to depopularize.
That's not what I want.
That's not what I want. I don't want you dead. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, if you die and
Yeah.
you were doing something dumb, then
Yeah.
you know, Darwin, you know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
yo, you had
yeah,
it coming.
Yeah.
And it's survival of the fittest. But
But the thing is that like you said it on the previous episode, they prey on the weak, and the majority are the weak, because it is creating behavior or encouraging behavior, you know, or like manipulating behavior.
But
It is.
also
It
Darwinism.
is.
Do we just have too many people around that are just, they wouldn't be here other than, you know, the modern tech and, you know,
you
modern
can use a
advantage.
condom and shit?
Well, yeah, because it's just like, you know, it was hard to have
Yeah.
a child. You know, you were blessed to have children back in the day. Nowadays, you're trying to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
like 3 would die on the way in.
right,
Or, yeah.
right. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean,
Yeah.
so maybe to a point, you know, we might just have too many people, and it's just like with anything. Like if you put too much money in the economy, the dollar has lost its value.
Right.
And not to be like, I'm not with the whole Depop stuff or anything,
Right.
right, either. But I just feel like, you know, there's just too many. I don't know. I hate saying it like this, bro, because you do start sounding like, you know, your parents or whatever. But you're just like, everybody's so dumb.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
But
like,
it's true, bro.
Yeah.
Like obviously, I don't say that with the superiority.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But it's
yeah.
like it's true, bro. Like it's like there's these people that have degrees and they're like the smartest on paper, right? Or like they present themselves, or they have
They speak
stuff
eloquently.
figured, or they have stuff figured out to get their life in order. But in a real life situation, they're like they don't know what to do, or they're stuck, or they're
They've
lost.
still read many books too.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
that's why I say the programming is so good,
Yeah.
and that's why I don't feel. I forgot who told me, like, we were talking about it, and they're just like, man, we just let them go. Like I'm like, but I'm that person. Like, nah, man, everybody's valuable. If I met you, only if I met
That's
you, then
how
I
I
could see
feel.
what I feel.
Yeah,
is
Right,
good in
right,
you.
right.
Yeah.
And then, you know, because if you start thinking that way, then you are like the elitists. They're like, nah, well, just fuck them. You know, like
Yeah.
just keep injecting them, keeping them fat. We got the food for them. We got the meds for them.
Yeah.
You know, we per capita, or in this country, we spend the most on pharmaceutical ads out of any other country.
Yeah. Because we're easy to be manipulated. We fall for that shit.
Well,
People
we're the
fall for
home
that
of
shit.
it.
Like,
I mean, yeah, and you know, okay, so like it's hard to like not be even like, you know, because we talked about it last episode we were together, to kind of be like, you know, what are you based in? What's your foundations, right? So, you know, that's what's going to develop why you think the way you think. That's the way you think. So at least for me, it's just like, you know, I'm a very empathetic person. I would love to save the masses. You know, I think why wouldn't you? You have to be
I'm with you,
crazy
yeah.
to not. But like at the end of the day, you know, you go back to this foundation and you see stuff like, you know, what do you ground yourself in? Don't cast your pearls before swine. And that's what it comes down to. Noah told everybody that there was going to be a flood. Nobody had ever seen a flood before. You know what I'm saying? And so he's letting everybody know. And not one person, like, you know what I'm saying, aside from his family, not one person, you know what I'm saying? And so you can argue and be like, oh, he wasted so much of his time. And, you know, I still think that there's a reason why he still had to tell these people in order, because whether you believe that the Bible is true or just a parable, like, you know, that's a pretty good parable.
Right.
Like, you can't even tell people, like, you know, hey, you're going to die,
Yeah.
and you still won't. You see, I'm building this grandeur of a thing right here. The animals are walking into my shit, and you don't want to
Come through,
come
hang
on.
out.
Come on, yeah.
Well, that's why I felt like I've had that ever since I've watched This Is the End. Have you seen that
Oh,
movie?
hold on. Which one's that one? I got it. Oh, with Rihanna and
yeah, it's all the celebrities. It's
Yeah.
Jonah Hill and well, there's the specific scene when they're getting beamed up to heaven. Like, I feel like I don't want to see that happen in my lifetime, where Noah is telling people, God's pissed at us. He's about to fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Like, try to come with me. I still feel like we're not there yet, but it'll take a generation and we could get there easily.
Okay.
And that's my kids' generation of living through.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is just like, let me not wait to that time. Let me hop on this mic right now and say, hey, everybody from the 713, and, you know, like, and
check
beyond.
it though, bro. Like that point you just made. Like right now, like I don't know if y'all seen those videos with those little orbs that they're catching in space, and like the dude zoomed in and it looked like the angel, like the way that the Bible describes angels.
Yeah.
This thing looks like it.
Okay.
Dude. So it's like, what if we are there, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if they are coming?
Well,
like,
I don't really trust the telescope, stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Either.
Right,
You know
right,
what I'm
no,
saying?
for
But-
sure. It's a video too.
But it's
right?
more so what you would see with prophecy in the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't even have to look outside.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? But you look at like stuff like blood moons.
Yeah,
You look
earthquakes
at
and
politically,
stuff like that,
as far as
yeah.
like
Wars.
what's happening to like Gog and Magog, the Euphrates River, stuff
Yeah,
like that drying
yeah.
up right now.
Which
so,
is happening.
yeah. So you see all that, and that's kind of like more like, okay, we're definitely there.
Yeah.
But I feel like too, going back to even what you're saying, and I'll still play both sides of it because you are right, because it does say to plant that seed. You know what I'm saying? And then like you planted it. 10 years from now, where I live in Houston. 10 years from now, I might meet that same guy. But never, even though knowing you, I didn't know him.
Yeah.
And then I water that seed.
Yeah.
And then Pablo waters that seed, and then and then it starts growing. Because it might take a while to produce that, but
and
you're right though.
That right there is the beauty of the world that we occupy, dude.
Yeah.
Or the realm, whatever you want to call it, because it's like these are the laws that are like that, bro. Like we miss it. Like I want to shake you right now and say, "Get it, dummy."
Yeah.
But it's like, man, you're gonna get it in 5 years, and you're gonna remember what I told you, what you told me.
And you'll never
what
get
they
the
saw on the
gratification of
podcast,
knowing, not that you need it,
right?
but you might never know.
Yeah, because I never
Yeah,
want the glory, dude. I never
Right.
want the glory. Like the glory. I give any glory that I would claim for my own. I give it to God, and it's like sometimes it's that. Like in the community that I was in, bro, there was a couple of dudes that I bumped head with. Mostly they were young, and I saw a lot of me in them, so I was a little harder on them. And like, I was hard, and I had my human errors, where I was like, I had the power, so I made them suffer a little extra.
Well, see, I still got a little arrogance in me, so I don't mind sometimes, especially if it's in the present time.
And if you're right,
I'm
and if
still
you're
young
right.
too.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, no, I've been trying to tell you. You don't want to know
But also-
who's right.
But also, like,
Nobody
like when
wins.
you're like 100% sure, like, bro, like, if you don't learn right now, you're gonna learn the hard way.
Yeah,
But still, so then, in the moment, it was just kind of like dead and like, fuck Pablo, he was a fucking asshole, But dude, like, sure enough, 2 years after community, I get a message from Facebook, like, hey man, or like Instagram, hey man, I just wanted to tell you, bro, like what you said to me, like, stuck with me, man, and like I know that it came from, like, bro, I never even expected that to happen, But when it did, like, it made me feel good, bro, and it was just kind of like, to me, that gave me purpose in life. Like nothing in life has ever given me more confirmation that, like, okay, I might have a reason to be here, and like. But it's like not only like that. That wasn't the glory. Like I didn't claim that glory. I mean, I was like, that was God working through me. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, dude, if you could change those lives, and it was more than one or two, dude. It was like 2 or 3 guys that did it, and especially guys that I never thought would fucking do it. They were arrogant little motherfuckers that they're like 20 years younger than me, but know everything.
But
and then they changed their heart. Like
sometimes, like we talk about the fatherless home, man. Like when a boy or a man never has that strong figure that sets him straight, and it might be even slapping you upside the head and hurting you a few times. That still is better than not being there.
Yeah, because that's love, bro.
Yeah.
If I grab you by the collar and you get a little,
Yeah.
neck, rub, but you was that close to the edge, like that's why I grabbed it that aggressively. You know what I'm saying? So,
Like,
but boys won't look at that. They'll be like, oh, but I got a scar on my neck. Like, fool, you was about to die. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
And see, again, it goes back to the beauty of the realm that we occupy. Because we can only learn those lessons and like learn them in those ways in this flesh. Because it's like, man, like my dad would tell me a bunch of shit, and I was like, dude, like I already know what you're telling me. That's bullshit. And then 10 years later, I'm like, oh shit, I learned the hard way.
Oh, yeah.
I learned the hardest way possible.
Yeah.
But again, it goes to that because then it's like now I know how to express it to somebody else or how to pass that on, and I think that's part of our
that's ruffled feathers, right?
Yeah,
that's what
like,
happens
pass
to the
it down.
bird.
Like, when
you spook them, he's like he's a little angry, agitated.
Yeah,
I'm looking at out of everyone because I think we're that great. And for the most part, I hope we are, because then we can just keep coexisting together. Because if not, I am gonna have to be your enemy, and you don't want that because I grew up strong, you know. And I think Jordan Peter said it in a beautiful, I think some dialogue he was having with another podcast, but a warrior has to be able to ready to take out a sword and kill you.
Yeah.
But, a true leader just knows when to take that out.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing that, but that's basically.
Well, because I think he said like a warrior knows that his sword is more efficient. Shield, what is it?
Sheath.
Sheath.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it, bro.
Right.
You know, like I have this right here, and like that the fact that I'm talking to you instead of pulling this out, there's something going on.
But they also have to know you'll pull that out.
Right. That's what
and
I'm
that
saying.
you're effective.
That you're
Yeah,
more
right.
than
You can do something.
that you're
Exactly.
more than capable. Yeah. Like,
I dropped
hold
it.
on.
It's kind of heavy.
Yeah. That like, and I mean, I think that's why it speaks numbers. You know, that's why they say the
Yeah.
tongue is sharper than the knife. You know,
Yeah.
because it's like, as a man, you're supposed to have that control and that knowledge, but also the capability to be like, all right, dude, like, show your teeth.
But that's what
you know?
that's what they've removed, and we need to ruffle everyone's feathers. That as if you're feminine, if you're a woman, if you're in the LGBT community, if you're a young man, young woman growing up, you have to realize how important it is for us, other men, other boys, to be masculine, to be tough.
Yeah.
To be strong,
honest, real.
right?
Yeah.
They should still be able to voice their I don't want to say emotions, but their honesty. They should still be able to be honest with you, but they can't be softened to the point where we're still living in a world where we have enemies. We still live in a world where you still can walk down the street and get mugged or shot up.
Yeah.
Like we're not there yet where everyone's like the guns are all gone, where everybody gets a lollipop every morning for just waking up. We're not there yet. It's not Lego world,
Yeah.
Everything is not awesome yet.
Yeah.
You know?
But also, like, neither one of us got to where we're at today without getting checked by somebody that loved us. They
Right.
checked us hard, you know? Like.
And that lingers, like we
yeah.
talked about, because I remember the first time I got checked on trying to be too smart for myself, and I got humbled. Even though I stayed cocky for the next year or two, that shit always stuck in my brain. Mm-hmm. It was like, fuck, man, he was right.
Yeah.
And I thought I was the shit.
Yeah.
But men need to go through that.
Yeah.
If you're not even allowed to be the cocky little mule, the little horse, you don't realize, the strength you're capable of, because that's what creates the Joker, right?
Yeah.
Like when you suppress it all, it builds because it's there as men, like it builds.
And which side are you feeding,
Right.
Yeah.
Because we still have that strength just because they're soft and 25 years old now and they've never, hit anything that testosterone, that rage is there that's just in us naturally as hunters.
Yeah.
And then when they don't get to release it and somebody's mean to them, what happens?
Yeah.
They become little bitches.
Yeah.
They do some bitch shit and hurt some innocent people that couldn't even defend themselves.
Yeah. And that's very detrimental to like the
society.
community.
Yeah.
It is, bro. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why it takes like, obviously, in a perfect world, in a perfect home, you got the father that does that. Like you said,
Right,
we ain't doing
right.
this.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But it's like, okay, if you got a group of homies and you got a homie that's like, hey, man, you're a little tougher, that's love. Like, recognize that love. Like, recognize that that's like, because, like, there's been times that I've gotten checked and, like, I hated it, and I wanted to, like, be petty and, like, be like, hey, you're going to feel me, But if you give it some time, dude, to like, marinate, you realize, bro, like, okay, the reason I got angry is because it's true.
Yeah.
And it is because it hits me in that nerve that is.
Like, it kind of makes your
Like, but then you're left with an option. You're left with the choice.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Play the victim or man the fuck up?
Yeah.
And it takes the strong dude, and that's why I think, and one of the bigger reasons is why Trump is hated so much, because he's the epitome of a strong dude from New York, from the 70s.
Yeah.
That's
He's got boundaries. This
that
is this is that.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going past this limit. Like, So
And my old man, he does business like that too.
Yeah.
I remember going on, when he's going talking to clients or going, get deals worked on. In my head, I'm like, man, he's being too rough. Like, you're not gonna make
aggressive?
he's making his boundaries known off the rip.
Like, we're equal.
Yeah, but this doesn't serve me. Why not? And it being, and I'm in my head, I'm like, this is not gonna. And then, but every business
And they
deal
said
works
only
out.
$11,000.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is what Trump does that people don't realize when he
Yeah.
goes and talks to these world leaders. Like, hey, we're paying y'all's countries, safety. Why?
Yeah.
What if we have a party and we need security? security doesn't pay us. We
Yeah.
pay for the security.
Yeah.
That's what this like what he told Canada.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
You
but
heard
that's
about that,
like
right?
logical.
Nah, I don't think so.
So like Canada was saying like, oh, how are we gonna make it without your help or your, And then he was like, oh, well, if you can't make it without us, we'll be happy to add you as the 51st state.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
That lumber, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we got a
Let's
lot.
go.
We
Yeah,
got some
but
good
it's a beat,
seafood.
but it's also when he talks, bro. Like, it seems like he's talking from the heart. It seems like he's like, it's like.
He's not talking from the brain every time. You know what
No,
I'm
so,
saying? I
yeah,
like
no,
Trump,
he's
but he's
got-
not
yeah,
talking
yeah.
from the brain every time.
But sometimes when he makes sense about certain things, dude, like
Yeah.
about like what the right thing is, dude,
Yeah.
I feel it, and maybe
Yeah.
that's a flaw of mine, but it's like it doesn't seem. What I get when Trump talks is like, okay, let's help our country, let's help
Yeah.
our people, let's
Yeah.
build up and let's start over. Ain't nothing wrong with starting over, bro. I'm starting over with my workout, and it's like that's there's beauty in that. There's
life,
like,
your life.
Yeah,
You're
it's a new
resetting,
life.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a rebirth.
I like Trump. I think the two issues, the way that, with Trump being perceived the way that I see why people perceive him. You hear people's arguments on him, and it's like, I see why you would, because you're
See
looking
that.
at it this angle. So I
Right.
see why. They say the U.S. population reads at a 5th grade level. Donald Trump is dealing with stuff we don't even know about, bro.
Yep.
President, let's not even say Donald Trump. The president is dealing with issues that we're not even allowed to know, right? So it's like, how can you convey that, to us, and we have to enact the bill within 2 or 3 months, and we're gonna make sure that you work cashier at Dollar General. We're gonna make sure it's okay with you, like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, like, nah, like, this is what we're doing. This is the vagaries of it. I'm letting y'all know we're gonna go ahead and do it. And that's a leadership role. It's like that's
Right.
what has to be done. They think that we all need to say like, as the 100%, hey, we're gonna do this together. It's like,
Yeah.
bro, it's a privilege to be in the country we're in. I get it, but like, that's.
But the thing is too is and this is not understood because our media's fucking taken over.
Yeah.
Like what he's trying to do, and then this is the beauty of this. And to me, any creative or any business owner or CEO type mentality is you're able to get information by people who are experts in what they do.
Right. Yeah.
And you're able to play chess with those, different labor sects of, HR, of trainers, of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All you don't have to know every aspect of the
No.
labor union.
Forward. Yeah.
But you have to know, like, all right, what are your values? What is the way you think? And how
Yeah.
do you feel like the outcome should always be? Okay, that makes more sense than this guy who wanted to do that job. And you're setting those chess pieces up.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the opportunity as a president to listen to every sob
Yeah.
story,
Yeah.
every unfortunate community. Because right now people don't realize that the ship is sinking. So it takes drastic measure to stop a ship from sinking.
Yeah.
You can't just start to fix the roof that had a hole in it when the bow has a big hole in it.
Yeah.
probably.
They're like, something stinks though.
Yeah, but
like,
the kitchen
we're
needs
gonna
tending
get
to.
there. Yeah.
The kitchen needs tending to.
Yeah.
Fuck the hole down there.
Uh-huh.
And people don't realize
How
because
did we get there though?
because
bro?
we got bamboozled by crooked politicians.
Motherfuckers.
And people don't realize all these programs they do are on face value well-intentioned, but when you look into the paperwork and to the monies, like there's a reason that we get audited so hard and they don't.
Yeah.
Like the Pentagon failed the last 5 audits and has billions unaccounted for. And yet
Don't
and
let
yet
you do that.
Right.
Right,
Exactly.
but Biden went here and hired 87,000 new IRS agents to go after us.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're only going after big businesses. Bullshit. Where do you think they're going after that?
Yeah.
So,
Damn, bro.
but people have gotten so accompanied or accustomed to the idea that the government is here to help you, and these people are well intentioned. They went to school for this. They have, they speak so nice to me about my issues. Like I believe in these guys because why would they lie to me? This is not.
And then they use the professionalism fucking mask behind all that.
Yeah, they use the Ivy League school mask.
Yeah.
They use
Yeah.
the
the
look what I-
proper.
yeah.
Like-
Like look, like if anybody cared to look into Kamala Harris and her background and her way up, you'd see so
She's
many.
disgusting.
You see so much
Yeah.
corruption. Joe Biden, and yes, you can go with that to Trump, but Trump was a private business owner.
Yeah.
And when you're running businesses and trying new things and some things don't work, there's a system set up by these politicians
Yeah.
to bankrupt and
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
Yeah, nobody's mad
Start
at the
over.
scammers. Nobody's talking, oh, those scammers in 2020 were so bad. Like, those guys were really, starting businesses and bankrupting them or whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? But, like, versus this case, like, he was legitimately opening up businesses and they fail or whatever. But, like...
Yeah, he like bankrupt like 5 times or something.
No, I think more than that.
Yeah,
Probably.
But that's what's going to happen,
It's a system placed there for a reason.
Right.
To be used.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, like, whether he did it on purpose or like with that intention, it still worked. I mean, there are other people do it as well.
Well, on the other hand,
Just
if there was this beautiful chick now, and she's tried 13 times to lose weight, and now she's beautiful, and we're like, nah, she's ugly, fat. You remember she was a loser, really, because she's tried 13 times to lose weight. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, we'd be so wrong for that. So wrong. But because, like, I think, too, kind of even going back to what your statement is that men are so, like, and this sounds like kind of weak to a degree, but, like, men are, like, neglected in that degree. We don't even mind, really. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we really don't care. But it's just like, y'all think that, like, we can't say the same thing about, the same situations. It's like, we wouldn't say that. I don't think any of us would say that about that, mock situation I just brought up.
Right.
But it's just for people to say the same thing on this end. It's just like...
Yeah, it's like comparing it.
People that have tried and failed and are still doing it and still going, we know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay.
Be
like,
honest with the situation.
That's a part of it. Like, we scrape your knee, you get back up, you do it again. You know what I'm saying?
I tried some pyramid schemes back in the day.
Yeah, I was in on a couple.
It's going to work for me.
I was in on one that Donald Trump was endorsing, bro, and I still, dude, it's still kind of cool. It was called ACN. It was called All Communications Network. So I think it was before FaceTime and all that type of stuff. You had like a regular phone. You know how the phone would like, just like this, the cord, but you'd have the whole thing. So it had a screen so you could FaceTime.
Yeah,
oh,
like,
nice. Yeah.
So he was endorsing it. I got out of it within like the day before you could get your money back.
Yeah.
So I didn't get scammed. You know what I'm saying? I got my bread back, but
it was on the way.
Dude, man, I came up there because I knew he was on some funny stuff, and I came up there. Ready to do the wrong things, ready to do some fatherless shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you've ever tried, if you've ever really put yourself out there, enough times you do fail. And obviously, he did on a different scale because he had $1 million loan from his old man, and then that. But $1 million is. You can give somebody a $10,000 loan and they'll still squander it.
They'll mess it up. Yeah.
You can give somebody a $10 million loan and they'll still fuck it up.
And they'll owe $12 million somehow.
Yeah.
Like,
Again, Kamala Harris on her fucking campaign went $20 million in debt.
Sad, bro.
But she raised more money than Trump ever did.
But you want your school loans paid for? But that's $20 million. Because if she would just paid school loans off of that bread, she would have ran a pretty damn good campaign.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
but that just shows the type of leader that these people want in still over Trump, when on paper they just showed you how bad they are at their job. And these people are so ignorant and so fucking brainwashed that no, I'd rather pick the pilot who's crashed 12 out of 13 planes than him.
But he's popular. He's popular though.
But this dude's never crashed a plane. No, I don't care. He's mean.
But it seemed like, even then, who was even really voting for Kamala Harris anyways? Because they said that 25% of voters lied about who they were voting for. And then you saw the sweep. We all saw the map. It was a sweep. It wasn't, Donald Trump didn't, beat her. He gave her a whooping. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he gave her a good whooping.
Yeah.
So, and then she didn't even come and say anything that night. It was so bad she didn't even come on the stage and be like, America, thank you for supporting me or whatever. Like, nah, it was like, I'm gonna go hide,
It's because they gaslit everybody. They were acting like
they got all those Diddy tapes and had all the celebrities endorsing.
Come on, man. And they don't want to talk about it now.
They didn't have nothing on me. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have no Diddy tapes on your boy, so I was still, you know what I'm saying?
Who had the Diddy drink when the story we were talking about earlier?
What was talking about? Oh, shit.
Was that you?
No.
Somebody sipped on something and.
Oh, we was talking about some Diddy drink earlier.
Like when we started, right?
Off of it,
no, I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I mean, we ain't nobody gonna claim it.
Somebody forgot about it.
That's how you know it was good.
Damn.
But yeah. So.
But that's the type of clown world we're living in, where it's intelligent people who like we were saying, who are well educated, read up on, but are falling for the sauce. And those are those people I'm trying to be like, because I've had a lot of people just, doing what I do as a tattoo artist, and, you spend that intimate time with people and you just start running on tangents on you know, on some podcast shit, and we get into stuff like that unintentionally, and I'm able to give my perspective to people, and you know, I've had quite a few people just tell me over time, like, you know, man, some of you told me, like, kind of changed things, and then I just started seeing things in a different lens. Or I've had a kid where all his people were extreme, like political, far left, like just everything they eat and breathe was politics, and he didn't agree with a lot of it, but he assumed that that's how everyone felt. And just by a simple conversation me and him had, you know, he's realized, he's like, you know, I don't have to think like everyone else. Like, it's okay to have a difference of opinion, and to have that change for someone. One, it's scary that, because we all want to fit in, right? Like, we want to roll with the group of people that are like-minded, or like that appreciate you. And some people are so nice or so quiet, they won't say anything to rock the boat.
A lot of people like die to themselves doing that, though. You know, like just turning to somebody else just because they're like, okay, well, I have to be a part of this group, or I have to belong, so I need to mold into this.
It's a survival thing. It's like, I think Pavlov's 5 basic human needs, I think like number 3 or 4 is like community, like to be within the community. So it is like, you know, you don't want to stand out. You know?
That's for sure.
Because you've seen that stuff where did we watch it last time where they were like, the guy was like, he definitely saw the number 4, but he decided to say, no, I didn't see the number 4. I saw the number 6 because everybody else said they saw the number 6. Did we saw that here? Well, anyway, so there's this thing where it's like, let's say all 3 of us are lined up. Me and Pablo are paid, you know, to be here, but you're the one being observed.
Oh, yes.
So so it's like they flash something on the screen. They flash a number on the screen. I say, I saw number 6. You say, I saw number 6. You're like they see like the hesitation.
Yeah.
Like
6.
you saw 4 though.
Yeah.
You know, but you're like
one person said 4. Excuse me, 6. You know what I'm saying? They changed it. So, but yeah, I mean, because it is a survival thing. Because if you do stand out from the crowd, you know, but like at some point in time, I mean, I think that so many people, I think it's almost dangerous to say some of this stuff that you say, in as far as like, you can't say anything in a workplace meeting. Where are people meeting people at anyways? Like, where do you meet people nowadays? Like, everyone's online and stuff, and so that already puts you in an echo chamber of whether you believe this or that is bad.
Your algorithm pulls you.
Yeah. Because if you believe what we believe, cool or whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? But you still need to be exposed to be well-rounded. You know what I'm saying? And on the other end, if that's your algorithm, I mean, sorry. Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
no, but your choices should be like well thought of and with some depth behind them, you know, because it's like if you just go in with the crowd, then that's the problem. Like that's a survival instinct, but it's a bad instinct.
Well, okay, but then you say that, but then it's just like, okay, you say, okay, going with the crowd is bad or whatever, but then it's like you work at the job and they're saying like, okay, we're going to start accepting this, or these things are okay or not okay. So for instance, like my mom was a part of the Methodist Church, and so I didn't know this until this situation happened. So the Methodist Church is like a real, like, nationwide organization. It's a corporation, you know what I'm saying? So they tell them when to switch pastors and everything. The pastor could be so loved by the community. They say, nah, you know what, we're going to ship him to West Virginia, you know, wherever they decide to do it, right? So because of the climate, I think 2 or 3 years ago of the whole, you know, LGBTQ stuff, that organization said, we're going to start accepting, you know, the whole marriages inside of the church.
Okay, yeah.
And so they said, nah, like, you know, they're in, you know, Santa Fe, Texas, you know what I'm saying, like, country little town. They're like, nah, like, not us. Like, maybe in Houston, that's cool, but we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So she's like, nah, you know, and a whole bunch of other people felt that way. They had to win the vote 80% to 20. Like, you know, so not 51-49 is a true vote.
Yeah.
But, you know what I'm saying? But no, they had to win it.
The majority had to be 80.
Yeah. Because if it was 75 to 25, they still would have lost the vote, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, it's just like, but at that point, it's just like you almost look like you're a bad person, and they make you seem like, well, because even in this organization, because we're talking about something as extreme as like Christianity, but even within society, but you're going to the point where it's like you're not even a good Christian because you're not accepting this or that. So it's like you're being attacked to a certain degree. You're not a good person because, them two people being together, you know, get you in a certain attitude, or, you know, makes you think a certain way. It's like, no, not necessarily. It's just that I don't prefer that. I don't prefer to see that type of shit from anybody. Like, you know, whether it's, you know, you and your chick, like, I don't want to see y'all, you know, all too much, right? You know, it's cool to show signs of affection, like, you know,
of course,
you know,
you don't want to. you don't like to be by the couple that's you know feeling over each other.
Yeah, right.
You gotta keep looking over. Like,
yeah. I like closed doors. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I like locked doors. Like, you know, that's what that's for. But, you know, so yeah, with that organization, it was just like, either y'all go start y'all's own church, don't go to church, or y'all just gotta get in where y'all fit in over here and just act like y'all didn't see nothing.
Well,
You know
that's
what I'm saying?
where that's where I don't know if it's integrity comes in, but what is it? That's where you're, like, you decide, okay, well, then I go somewhere else, right? Because it's your standards, it's your morals.
Okay, but but you have to be strong enough to go somewhere else. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, you have to even be aware of that, right? Like,
Well,
to
all
be
of
aware
that,
of like what's meaningful to you, what's important to you, what means, what's ethical, you know, for you.
Well,
like,
and people don't have foundations and stuff like that.
That's
You know,
what I'm
even
saying,
if you are, I've been going to church for 50 years. How many people have read either that doctrine or any doctrine? You know what I'm saying? Because again, we're not just going to be like, oh, I'm promoting this, but any doctrine is going to hold you to that same standard that we're talking about.
Right.
Like any ancient doctrine will.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So all this, you know, new age stuff or whatever, it's cool. Like, I get it. Like, you know, people have been doing this forever. It's not like this is a new thing, but the promotion of it.
It's
like,
kind of like woke. Woke in the past means something different than it means today, right? Like
woke was a good term for 2 years. We
right,
had a 2 year good
right.
run.
Back in the
love that.
90s, woke was just being aware of what they do to us.
Yeah.
And for the black community, it was, you know, they had it tailored to how they felt about it. But to me, it was just understanding of, you know, the higher powers that be.
the matrix of the matrix.
Right. But, you know, it was changed to what it is today now to include the LGBT and all that stuff. And I think it's almost the same thing where the religion was what it was, and now they're like contorting it to be something else what it is today.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of bastardizing the legacy of what it was to just fit in with the
Palatable. Yeah,
with
very
what's
palatable.
in now. And that's some dark shit. What's up?
Speaking about that, have you heard about what the Pope is doing on Christmas Eve? Bro, look, pull that up, Miggy.
What's he doing?
Dude, it's
He's
supposed
throwing
to
a
be,
party?
bro, supposedly he's opening up some portals.
Oh, I mean, shit. Like, that's just something he does, bro. Their whole, like, simple, everything about it is astrological and, you know, all that type of stuff. So, I mean, that's just what they do. It don't even surprise me no more. The whole, like, and I know y'all had mentioned about being Catholic or whatever, so definitely not to, like, ruffle feathers or anything, you know what I'm
Let's
saying?
ruffle some feathers, bro.
But, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You know, I don't, from what I've, like, at least observed from, like, the Catholic community or whatever, like, it's not, and I've talked to a few people about this, it's not, like, I think it's very Christian related. I don't think it's necessarily, like, the same, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't say that Mormons are, like, Christians, you know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing. I think it's more of like a cult thing than like true. Like, I do, you know, prefer nowadays like non-denominational churches. So that way, you know, I'm just getting biblical text.
Right.
Versus like Baptists is like, hey, well, we don't believe in like dancing, or like Methodists, we believe in like you can do this other stuff now that I was just talking about.
Well, I mean, dude, so, okay, you know Catholic, the word Catholic means universal, right?
Okay.
So it's supposed to
So
be...
one world government
It's supposed
type?
to, it's supposed to be the universal religion because,
yeah.
like, from what I understand, and, you know, we could fact check this, but the day that he ascended, before he ascended, Jesus, he broke bread, right? And he consecrated the bread and said, "This is my blood and this is my flesh." So this is how we're in communion. You're gonna eat my flesh and drink my blood, basically, right? But so it's like that's
before he went to the cross.
No. This is after.
Before he ascended, and he's showing like Peter his holes in the
hand
hand.
Okay. This is after he went to hell and came back.
Okay.
So that's tradition. So Catholics follow tradition with the capital T. It's always spelled capital T. Tradition.
When you spell tradition. But so what's the tradition in that? Is just like break bread?
It's just that's the new covenant, right? The new covenant is Jesus. Like you come in communion with Jesus and you take them in. You know, you have them. You're united. So they consecrate the bread. So like the bread gets consecrated. The priest has to say the prayer over it to become the blood and flesh of the blood and flesh of Jesus.
Okay,
right?
so that's similar to Christianity. That's something that we hold in common.
Right, but see, only a priest can do that. Only a
Okay.
Catholic priest can do that.
So why a Catholic priest and why not, like, let's just say a non-denominational or Baptist preacher? Like, what would make that difference?
Because you're supposed to become ordained as a priest.
Okay.
You're supposed to become. You're supposed to give you marry. Basically, dude, they call it like you go into marriage with Christ, right? They relate it to marriage with Christ. So whether you're a nun or a priest, your spouse is Jesus.
Yeah.
So that's why whenever a priest puts on that purple veil, or that purple, I don't know what they call it, he's literally impersonating Jesus, and you're talking to Jesus. You're confessing with Jesus, right? I know it's kind of weird.
I know, but see, that's that stuff that
strange.
they get down to, like, what, because, you know, you go to New Covenant, right? You know what I'm saying? Because that's you know, New Testament, all that type of stuff, is that there is no, like, boundary or border between you and, like, the Father, right? So it's like, from what I understand in, like, Catholic religion, do y'all can pray outside of the church, or do y'all only?
Yeah, you can pray outside, but you're supposed to. So like
confess
Sundays,
your sins to the.
You have to.
priest.
The only way to confess your sins
And
is
so
get
if
them
I were to
absolved.
confess that, like, privately, like, you know what I'm saying, in my own home,
Yeah,
like, that doesn't
I mean,
count.
see, I personally think that we should do that. I do it.
But would your
know?
religion turn your?
Catholics-
Would they chastise you and say, like, nah, dude,
yeah,
you're
Catholic
totally
says
wrong
it's
for
not
that.
valid.
Yeah.
Catholic says that you can confess to God, you can have an open conversation with God, but you cannot be absolved from your sins. So like what the tradition is, bro, like literally, if you've been a prostitute, if you've been a pimp, if you've been a drug dealer, if you've been a murderer, if you've been a sex trafficker, you come and you confess from your heart, you get absolved, and if you never do it again, bro, you're again pure. You're free from sin.
But see, and that's the thing, I guess, at least what we were taught, you know, in Christianity, right? They were like, and I know, you know, y'all be considering Christianity too, you know, but like, it's like no man has power. Like, it is just like a direct, like, you come to the Father, you know what I'm saying? It's because, unless it's like biblical to where you can say, because, you know, especially being a Southern Christian, dude, we're in that word. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're in that word. And I'm going to, like, Mexican churches, you know,
Bro,
where
like,
you know, boys are seasoned on the ground. It's getting lit. Like,
See,
they lock the doors, you know what I'm saying?
And that's
Like,
supposed to be a thing. You know?
Yeah.
That was supposed to be happening back then, too. Like,
Well-
you get into the realm.
well,
you
in
get
order
into
to say
dimension.
that, like, okay, so if everything is off of, and we can also say, okay, yeah, the Bible has been changed multiple times or whatever, but even going back to the first original Bible, you know, where would it be like, okay, I have to come to a priest, you know what I'm saying, or someone like another, or you know, because they do have priests in you know, the Old Testament. Like, this is how the place is supposed to be set up, and even the you know, that the way that they set up the temple, or what is it called out in Jerusalem, or not Jerusalem, I'm sorry,
The tabernacle?
the Roman Catholic, what's the place that the priest stays
Yeah,
at?
the
Pope stays
Vatican?
at?
The
The
Vatican,
Vatican.
yeah.
It is the direct opposite of what, like, the Bible says. Hey, you need to build it this way. And
See, that might be fact.
So-
I
so,
don't know,
like-
because you know everything in the Bible tells you like how to build it to the T.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right. So I don't know how
because
that
you
is.
even think about it too, is like the way, you know, go back to the patriotism of America, right? We came over here, at least from what history tries to tell us, right, for freedom of religion, right? Because we weren't allowed to read the Bible. That's something else with, like, Catholicism that's like, I don't think that they overtly say this, but I've been told from friends that it's encouraged, like, or not, yeah, I guess encouraged, like, you don't have to read your Bible. We're going to tell you what's going on, you know what I'm saying, and we're going to interpret it for you.
So, and I just want to put this on record, right? I was born Catholic, I was baptized Catholic, I was raised Catholic. I denounced the Catholic religion in my teens. I returned to the Catholic faith after my addiction, when I went to community Chanacalo. I love a lot of the stuff from the Catholic faith, but I don't consider myself Catholic. You know, like, I know all the Catholic prayers, so my prayers are Catholic, because I feel like you gotta have something that ties you with that higher power. You know? So whenever I talk to God, I express that to him. You know, like, because I might be blind, dude. What if the Catholic faith is the fucking one and right faith, right?
Yeah.
What if I'm also open that the Buddhism have, you know, whatever. I'm just saying, I'm putting this on record because, like, I'm still questioning and I'm still open to knowing that, right?
For me, it's hard because, like we talked about earlier about the smoking weed. Like, do we live in this fucked up society? To me, the weed was here to help me just kind of cope.
Right.
For me, it's like,
And it's part of our, like, it's like our buddy. It's
Yeah,
there, you
well,
know?
it's
It's
medicinal.
like a dog, you know? You like dogs, you get a dog.
well, I mean, I have a dog too, but more so like in the sense of we happen to be born in this century, in this year, in this time frame,
With
in this
this
generation,
history.
with this history, and it's too hard to know did they change the book? You know,
right.
did the
Too much,
did the Catholic Church get taken over?
Yeah,
you know, did they get like compromised and then start to do something different? Like, again, we're still ants in the grand scheme of things. So if I could just use that as my center North Star, and you know, I have to pick and choose at this point because the devil has put so much in front of us.
It's what you have. It's what you have to work with.
Exactly.
But I just want to cover with to go back, and we can move on after this. But like the part of the Catholic Church is that the tradition is that he consecrated the priests himself, Jesus. So he put Peter as I think Peter was the first pope,
it's supposed to
right?
be,
So then that's why from then the method is the same, right? So you have to go through like, dude, probably like 12 years of like college in all kinds of.
Because even
like,
what we
theory
practice
and
now as
everything.
Catholics in most churches isn't still to that
like,
standard.
Shout out to my boy Preston. He just got a deacon. He just became a deacon, but he's on his way to become a priest, bro. He's like this Hawaiian dude, cool as hell, you know, like good people, man. You know, powerful story behind it, you know, but he's devoted, right? But the thing is that that tradition has been passed on. So that's why we can only confess that's why Catholics are supposed to confess to a Catholic priest, because it's been passed on since 2,000 years.
So like
right?
a direct
and that's, whether it's true or not,
Christ
that's
type
just
of
what
a
they
thing.
claim. That's just what they claim, what they say. And like if we go back to history, it's supposed to be all logged and documented, bro. You know what
I think it's a beautiful like thing. Like
It's a
I
good
think
approach,
that is a beautiful approach as far as like all these people have, you know, whatever.
But that's why, bro. And I mean, like, I do think that there's some real in it. And, you know, it's like a beautiful thing to say, like, man, you go in and it's quiet, and like sometimes I've met priests that like have that peace, bro. That I'm like, man, dude, like, and I'm honest, bro. I've always spilled I probably share too much, you know, but like, we call it vomiting, you know, because it's like, dude, have you ever like really gotten that shit out? Like there's some shit that you really repent and regret, and like, fuck, man, like, and even if you didn't know, you didn't have the knowledge back then, but you knew it was wrong. You get that shit out, bro. It's like vomiting.
It is, bro. Yeah,
you know,
you'll come out of that feeling a lot different.
So then you have a priest, you know, and if the priest is good, and like the thing is that if the priest is a good-hearted priest, and in his mind he's doing the right thing, bro, he's saved by default, you know, because he's doing it with the good cause, right? But say you got 30 confessions, bro, and everybody just came and vomited that on you, bro.
Crazy,
that takes a toll on you.
Yeah, that's
you know?
crazy. Yeah.
But I mean, and that's like, I have a lot of respect for very few priests and even a bishop that I met, bro, like that changed my life and changed my perspective on a lot of things. But also it comes back to like a personal, you know, like I can say the same about you, you know what I'm saying? I can say the same about Bird, and like some people, even like some people that I've met one day that we just happened to have like a bus ride together from like another city, and it was just like a 3-hour conversation, and I was like, fuck, man, like, I'm glad I met this person, or I was meant to meet this person, you know? So it's tough with the faith and with the religion, bro, but I myself have been to some very powerful non-denominational churches that I'm just like, I feel it. I feel the beam. Have you ever felt the beam?
What's the
Where
beam?
you just feel hot, and you're just kind of like burning, but it feels good?
That
That shit is real, bro.
Nah.
Yeah, have you ever felt it? Deep prayer,
I've
bro.
probably beamed somebody, but
I've
never felt it myself.
Sometimes it can happen outside of church.
I've
or
definitely
outside
gotten
of prayer.
emotional, like, you know what I'm saying, to where you to the point of like crying and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But like, you know, it'd just be like one or two falling down. You never know.
But no, look it up. It's a thing. I think it's called the beam or the heat beam or something, because you feel heat, but it's not an uncomfortable heat, bro. It's like that's like he's hugging you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But man,
I mean, to me, like, it just to take it off this point, because I know how people get weird about religion, and you know, once they know you're a religious person, you're like, all of a sudden you don't believe in science anymore. Like,
Well, you don't, because you don't believe in the COVID vaccine, you know what I'm saying? So that's what they're going to tell you about you anyway.
Right. So,
but dude, what about the quantum chip?
So all of a sudden, me believing in religion or saying how I feel about that, like, kind of or takes away from any opinion that I have about the vaccine or anything like that.
Right.
But if people, at the most or at the least, what I take away from the Catholic Church is what you said, like the traditions, like to go in there, to be at peace, to just listen to a few readings, to go and accept the host, the body of Christ, or if you're not even supposed to take it, because there's rules to all this stuff. Like, you don't take it if you haven't gone to confession. And there's some bad stuff on you.
You're not even supposed to touch it. They're supposed to give it to you on your tongue.
Yeah.
And but just those acts alone, like, if you're there with good intentions, can almost like help reset you.
Yeah.
And but I have my squirrels or my qualms with the Catholic Church and a lot of stuff I don't agree with, especially in the past. And
oh man, I can say the same thing even with like the Christian church.
Right.
There's no reason that they shouldn't have like gas stations. Like Christian churches should like own gas stations and apartment complexes. You know what I'm saying? Like you can still make great money if they were charging $300 less rent. You know what I'm saying? Because they're getting all this free money anyways.
It could be part of the nonprofit.
You know what I'm saying?
There are methods, bro, yeah.
Because that's my biggest thing with the Christian church. Because not to even be like, oh, raise that banner too, high or whatever, as if that's,
let's start a church, bro.
But let's start a church.
I'm good. I don't know if that's my avenue.
Well, you know how it says anyways. It says, regardless, at the end of the day, it even says, like, there's be people in heaven that you didn't even expect to see. So I believe there's going to be Muslims and people who, lived a different lifestyle or whatever, but they carried and conducted themselves in a heavenly manner, like Christ-like manner, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I know there's gonna be people outside of Christ believers or whatever, but yeah. At the end of the day, though, man, it would be nice to see like the money being recycled. I mean, I know that he was also involved in that whole like Diddy shit or whatever, but T.D. Jakes, you kind of see him at least with he's got a little movie production, area or whatever in his church or whatever. So, you employ people from the community.
Right.
And that's kind of what I get at is like having people not have
But how much does that cost them? Because then it goes back to how I talk about the LeBron James things. Like he made a school with a fraction of his wealth.
Income,
And then I think if I'm not mistaken, the state is still required to upkeep the school and all this other things. So it's just like to me, like I don't need a big number to have fuck you money to where
but you can still help out.
Yeah.
Right, because if I'm making more than $1 million a year, if you can't live off of $1 million and keep flipping that $1 million just on that own $1 million for the next 5 years still creating you more wealth, then you don't know how to handle your money right.
Yeah.
So now if you're getting $9 million a year, you're getting, to me, you should be helping not the government only. And then, at the end of the day too, they're sports athletes. Like nothing, no disrespect to the amount of work that they do, because I know what it takes. Well, I mean, not to that level, but that's hard to do. But it's just like the Coliseum, the fucking gladiators. They were the best of the best in murdering people.
Mm-hmm.
And they were slaves, and now these are the best of the best basketball players, and they're multimillionaires. They're not slaves anymore. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Colin Kaepernick, they're fucking not slaves, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you have the wealth and the ability to make the change in your communities, and yet you keep looking for other people to do it when you're there.
Yeah.
Like my old man, we just talked about it. He's not a multimillionaire, at least not then for sure. But he's still, hey, members of the community, let's do something better for these kids. Let's build a baseball team. We've never played baseball, but it seems like a pretty legit sport. And, let's run with that. Like, if we could all do that more. Right.
At least try out things,
But it that takes a lot of work and a lot of... But if we made a generation or we made a group or a society that was just a little bit better than it is today, over a couple generations, we'll be that much better. But right now we're just letting it go.
Well, yeah, I mean, and even just specifically, and not to even harp on it too much, but just that we were on the topic is like you'll find poor Christians out there. You'll find rich Christians out there as well. There's poor and rich Christians. We know them both, right? You don't really see a lot of poor Muslims. You don't see poor Jews. You know what I'm saying? Like Buddhists, you don't really find too many like poor Buddhists. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, it seems like and being a part of the religion, let me emphasize, like, it's just sad that it's like that's kind of like one of the only religions that has a lot of poor people. Like, you know what I'm saying? So.
Well, I think too, one is one of the, at least here in the country, it's one of the biggest ones, right?
What?
Christianity.
Yeah.
I think it's like one or two. Muslim is like really competing with it, but yeah.
In the U.S.
Universal. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean just in the country here.
I think it's Jewish and Christians, right? And then Muslims.
No, I don't even.
Let's look it up.
I don't think.
Yeah. What would it be?
What are the top 5, or the biggest religions on the planet?
No, in the United States.
Oh, sorry.
And then we'll go to the world. But yeah, if you have the biggest population,
So
Christianity.
Christianity is number one.
see 67% of the population.
So who?
So I'm saying you're gonna have a
Yeah,
lot more
because
poor
there's
people
so many
because there's so
in
many
there.
people in it.
Yeah.
Who are the Zionists?
That's a faction of the Jewish culture, just like in
Is it a faction?
Well, yeah, just like I was saying, like Catholic or
Methodist,
yeah.
Baptist.
I think
They're still
Zionists,
Christians and they're still Jews.
those are the
but
ones
they're-
that believe Christ did die. Like Christ, I think was because
Son of
there is a
God?
section of the Jews that do believe that who
He
Christ
was the Son of God?
Yeah.
Can you ask that question? What is a Zionist Jew?
Because it's like I saw this one dude that was talking about how the Zionists are the ones that have been really behind it all. And I'm sorry if I'm talking out of context, but
Well, yeah.
I was talking about this. I mean, it was just an
I don't-
article
yeah.
I saw.
I don't want to get into that can of worms yet without more research.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know
But
as
that's-
much about like that specifically.
Its core beliefs. So what do Zionists believe in? Its core beliefs are that all Jews constitute one nation, not simply a religious or ethnic community, and that the only solution to anti-Semitism is the I can't read
Is
that.
the consecration
Oh, I can't say.
or no concentration of as many Jews as possible in Palestine, Israel, as the establishment of a Jewish state there.
Oh,
So
okay.
pretty much the Zionist Jew wants the whole Jew community to get as big as it can
Yeah.
and then occupy.
Palestine
and
that whole
Jerusalem.
area.
So that's the bad guys.
Well, that's
right?
the AI answer to that, and that's probably its most basic form.
Yeah.
So
But then
again,
there's-
you can play devil's advocate for every argument, right? Because then your other argument could be like, well, these people were persecuted and killed,
Right.
so why would you not want to preserve what has been killed or taken away? Because that's why I don't like to get into that can of worms just yet.
Yeah.
No, I feel you.
Yeah.
I just been hearing a lot about it recently, but also it's just like my algorithm's all
Well, there was
conspiracy season,
Yeah,
sometimes they
exactly.
misguide you,
Well,
and
if you
mislead
go,
you,
if you do end up going down a can of worms, and I see, like me, I really do try not to come off offensively because like we all trying to figure this out. So like I've been in conversations with like Muslims to where you're like, you will both go to this. I don't even want to call it a history battle because that's not my goal. Is to compete, is to learn. Like what do y'all say? Because I'm open-minded enough to know that I could be wrong because I've been wrong maybe once or
Absolutely.
twice I think in my life. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That's humbling.
That's a
So
lot.
so yeah.
That's a lot, bro.
more than y'all, I'm sure. Yeah. So, but yeah. So yeah, like I do like to get in these conversations, and what you see is like there is kind of like a limit to either historical context or it's
Or
just
perspective.
kind of like it's just kind of like, hey, I was raised on the blue team, and I'm a blue team
Right.
member. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you'll see it with that as well. So
Well, too, they said like it's a specific Jew, not the Zionist, but a specific one that they test just higher on IQ tests, and then there's such a small percentage of the Jewish community, but they're also ones that own a majority of the businesses. But it's just like, is it because they're evil, or is it because they're really smart and they knew how they knew
Or
how
is
to
it
work?
both?
Is it both? So that's why it's like.
That's some ruffled
I mean,
feathers.
It's
right
too
there.
hard right there to be able to know unless you're in those circles
Yeah.
or you're
Comment.
close to these families of conversation, and they really did just say, fuck North Carolina, let's just send a hurricane that way. They could have easily, or they could have just been like all the other
There's just
people
another-
underneath them were like they all think the same, so like
There's just another nation trying to make it.
Yeah, or shit. It's a business, that they're running here. So it's like we're going back to the whole chess thing. It's like maybe some pawns, needed to come off of their board. Like we're just regular people just doing this regular whole vibe thing. But whatever it is that they think that they're worried about, like we would definitely say we're gonna run things differently. But I don't know what they know to where they need to feel like, hey, we need to do the hurricane.
We need less people. We need less people.
All right, well, let's talk about some other shit. The drones. They've been happening in New Jersey.
in Jersey.
So I heard a theory about somebody saying.
Show him those drones that are.
You haven't
Oh,
heard
that
about
guy,
it?
that guy who shot the drone because it got too close to his house or something.
Well, I think that might be part of it,
There
but
might
bro,
be a
it's been
downward-
happening for the last week or so, right? Or 2 weeks.
At least
This
week.
this
for
like
sure.
SUV-sized drones flying over New Jersey. And the government can't identify who they are
or the FAA or whatever.
But do you think that's true, or what do you think about that?
So that's what I'm saying. There's a theory there. They're saying it's military testing.
Like our military?
Yeah.
Hold on.
And
Just muddying with that sound.
Minutes move left to right, up and down, just these very slow motions, and then they would just go away. It didn't concern me at first. I just didn't think anything of it until it started becoming like every night, the same time, same places. So I figured, okay, they must be doing some kind of military drill. Not that I went to go look to see if they were, I just figured that's what they were doing. And then once they came out and said that they're not, and they don't know what they are, and they're not foreign, but they're not ours, and they don't pose a threat, that's when it becomes concerning.
I've seen clusters. Last night I saw clusters of about 8 up over here, and but normally I see them a little spread out, and they're sporadic. Some of them illuminate a bright light. Some of them, when you see them on the side profile flying, you can see the red, green lights. But the difference is, even though airlines have that lighting, the way it lights and the brightness is different. And you also have sometimes LED lights. It looks like LED lights under the underbelly of the aircraft, which you don't see on a commercial airliner like that. And with the naked eye, the video doesn't really do justice, but when you look at what I'm seeing with the naked eye, you can see it's not a normal aircraft. And we don't have this much, traffic, usually on any given night in this area. So it seems like definitely some of them are aircraft that we can't explain what they are.
And they won't tell us. If they know, they won't tell us. But their answer to us is, we don't know what it is. And they're just leaving it alone.
I'm glad that they're paying attention, because I would have thought those were planes, man.
Well, we've had drones here, right, Mix?
Yeah.
That we've seen constantly for about, it was probably, a month, 2? Now that I think about it.
Same ones, same
And they would kind of go in little square patterns in the sky, and then they just move off and then kind of do it again. So to me, that looks like mapping, or I don't know.
That's what it could be, but if that's what it is, they should be like, okay, we're just mapping the area. But there was a theory that I saw today. If we could find it, that'd be great. This dude was saying that they believe that a nuclear weapon got in, and that they're searching for it, and they're using modern nuclear. What is it?
Like these
detector detects
some
radiation.
type of, yeah.
That's crazy.
That could be a real theory.
That could be a
But
possibility.
again, it's allegedly.
Right. That's plausible, I think.
Or they could just be testing brand new big ass drones for taxis, but they won't tell us though. That's the thing.
I think that's the issue.
We've gotten so okay with them just saying like, okay, they don't have to tell us. Fuck it, we'll just keep living on. Like, I think there's something off about that.
It's the accountability that we've lost for the government, bro. Like, that's why people don't understand, who still hate Trump, what they're trying to do with Doge, with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. They pretty much, Trump hired them to work for free for the government, to basically go through the government's numbers and books and see where we needed to fucking cut the fat.
Yeah.
And, it goes back to the Pentagon losing billions of dollars in every fucking audit. Like, that shouldn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or some of these tests that these man, the spending that we've been making on some bullshit. Like, they were testing on specifically beagles, what happens to them when flesh-eating bacteria starts to eat their face. And it was That's sad, bro. Like, they were all in these little...
But it had to be beagles.
For some reason, it had to be beagles. And for some reason, it was an NIH-funded fucking test. And they have their heads in like separated by... And their heads like in a bag. And their bodies out and open. And they're just getting this flesh-eating bacteria on their face, dude. And they're... for some reason, that's national... concern that we have to spend our
research that we need to research.
And they even got as nasty as some of the doctors taking out their vocal cords because they were the moans were like, they didn't like them. But like, this is happening. What? This is funded by us. And it was literally a PBS thing. Like, you see it, so it's not like it was just some internet reel that was like 12 seconds that they just made up. Like, this shit's been like edited,
right,
cut, filmed. And put on video.
So that's the type of shit that I'll be like, damn, okay, dude. Like, if they're hiding that and they're keeping that from us, and like,
I mean,
they're
apparently
lying
they're not
about
hiding
it.
it though. You know, I guess they're doing.
But they're
that
not telling
shit.
us why they're doing it.
So look, on they've spent $125,000 on examining anti-racist healing in nature. They spent $151,000 on perceived racism, cardiovascular disease, and neurocognitive aging. They spent $516,000 on effects of racism on the brain and pathways to health disparity. They also spent...
They're biologically fucking us.
Well, I mean, because this is not new. You think about Pavlov's dog experiment that everybody talks about. It's so famous whenever you're like a beginning, like psych student, and they talk about Pavlov's dog. They make it sound so sweet and cute. Oh, we put a light up, and he would immediately begin to salivate. And so, but that's all they tell you. But then you get into like, how did they set that up? How do you gauge salivation and if it's a lot and all that? So this dude like cut off their cheeks and hooked some stuff up to where it would like, I guess, drip down or whatever, so they could catch the salivation. So that they knew like, okay, I can condition you. I put this light on the floor, and then I have him bring some food in, and then I do that 3 or 4 times in a row. You're gonna expect him to bring the food in. So the way that they did that, because all those are all psychological experiments. Mm-hmm. So like the way that they did that is, so now I'm gonna flash a light and not bring food, and you're just gonna be looking at the door or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just waiting for him to come in. But you even heard of like The Men Who Stare at Goats, like that book?
Yeah. Well, I've seen the movie.
The movie's funny. The movie is a comic to it.
But it's based on real shit.
But it really did happen. So like they trained men to like, this is on record that they, you know what I'm talking
those
about?
files, bro. It was on those files.
Yeah, it was
Like
CIA.
it's like mind control and mind telekinesis, right?
So I could look at you right now. This was the gist of the experiment, but they practiced on goats. But I could look at you right now and have such concentrated effort, your heart stops.
Oh.
Like, and you just die.
Yeah, but
no
also
murder
you
weapon.
could like make them tell
Like,
you shit, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I said, I don't know, Bert. Well, I think there's a side of it to that. That's more the MK Ultra side of it. But specifically, this goat experiment was something else. Because it's just like, there's no murder weapon. You could be at the presidential speech or whatever, and I'm looking at you, and I could have that effect on you.
It's
That's
just a
straight.
thought.
Yeah.
You kill him with a thought.
Well, yeah, you think about stuff like,
Energy,
you know, if you've ever
focus.
talked to anybody that's done like astral projection and stuff like that as well, they'll tell you that they can go inside of another room and hear this conversation, or they can take this and move this.
They'll be present wherever they want to if they can think it
Bro,
through.
I'm telling you, I think I've done it. I think I did that because I think that's what it was, bro.
Yeah.
What was it?
So this
last
was
night around 11:56.
No, bro, I promise you. Like, so I started getting really big on meditating, right? Like, this is after, like, pretty much immediately after community, right? We'll have an episode on that, but I spent 3 years on a Catholic community,
Right.
which was free, but it was a rehab, right? It was free. That's the reason I went for it, you know.
Yeah.
But it did help me out a lot. But anyways, I got out. You know, now I have a lot of freedom, so I'm getting back to accustomed to like a new life, you know. But I'm like, okay, I need meditation, you know. So I kind of separate. I start my meditation with prayer, but then I just meditate, you know. And bro, I don't know how long I was gone for, bro. It was maybe like an hour of meditation, but like I was very uncomfortable. I was trying to sit because I had like a roller that I would sit on, and then my legs would sit perfect, right? So I was able to stay like pretty straight and like not uncomfortable at all, you know. But it was bugging me that day, so I remember I laid down. And I had my knees up and I was on the ground, bro. And like I was a woman, like I was like in another fucking life.
Clip that.
Yeah.
What?
Nah,
Yes.
bro, I don't give a shit, bro, because this shit was so real, bro. It was so real, bro. Like I was like looking at myself, dude, and like I was so scared.
Yeah.
That I was like kind of like in a way. Bro,
What are these? What are these?
I think I did, but it was like I don't know if I did it mentally or if I did it like that, right? But dude, like I remember I started freaking out, and like, but I was looking around, bro, and like. It was kind of like whoever I was also like, what the fuck is happening, right? And then I came out of it and I was crying. Damn. I was just bawling, bro. Like tears were just coming out of my eyes, and I was like scared. And I was like, what the fuck was that? It was just too real, bro. Like I mean, on everything, bro. Whether y'all believe me or not.
No, I believe that. I mean, why would you say that,
bro?
I wouldn't say that.
Oh yeah, for real.
I wouldn't say that.
good,
That's really
though.
happened.
It was kind of like it was a psychological like clusterfuck, bro, because it was like. As if it was me in another reality or in another lifetime. Like I couldn't tell really like the time or like, you know.
So it could have been that like the reincarnation or like
or like a
former life,
previous lifetime,
former life,
or
future
another
life.
reality, or if I just fucking astral projected into somebody else. Right?
This is also a possibility.
Or if I just astral projected just my vision and I was just in their vision, you know? But like it felt like it was me just in another existence or in another world. Like I felt like it was me, and that's why I think I was crying, because it was like I was looking at myself.
Too deep.
Yeah, but like the way that I'm looking at my hands right now, dude, I was looking at that person's hands or that woman's hands, and it was like,
And you were sober.
Bro, last
bro, completely sober. I wasn't even smoking back then.
Dude, last night I had this dream, man, and I was just in my dream world, and then all of a sudden I walk into my garage, and none of the cars are inside, and I feel like this dark presence, and then I just feel like I start breathing weird in my dream, and it's starting to make me like it's moving me, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I started breathing like that in the dream, like it's like something's in me, and I start to like get onto the wall, like it's starting to make me do that, and I just fucking wake up. And I was like, whoa, I was like, what the fuck was that, bro?
It felt real.
That was crazy.
Yeah, and then I was like, well, I'm up, let me go take a piss. I opened the door, and I have a light that's over my restroom, my shower, that I hadn't changed the bulb out, because it's like an LED bulb, and it'll come on and off and on, but very rarely. But as soon as I opened the door, it shone bright, and I was just like, I turned it off. I was like, bro, that shit was fucking wild, man.
Cause dude, like I think we have that power, cause it's like that, like the man that's there it goes. I think we have that, whatever some people call it, medium. Like, no, mediums are like when you talk or see.
I mean, I think they're all part of the same tree.
Yeah.
They're just different branches, like, cause I think that might be something similar to astral projection, where you're projecting maybe not a new spirit, and in that situation you're able to project yourself somewhere else. And somebody, this is what they talk about, like witches and shit, are able to harness that energy and just fucking take it from you.
Well, Padre Pio. Have you ever heard of Padre Pio?
Nuh-uh.
You heard of Padre Pio?
Yeah.
So, pull him up, Mickey. He's a priest that he got the stigmata. You know what that is?
Nuh-uh.
So stigmata is that you get like the wounds of Christ.
The wounds of Christ.
You get like the nails or even the side, right? Or even like the,
How do you spell his name?
Padre Pio, P-I-O.
Man.
Bro, and he was in our age, bro. He's in the century. I think he died like in the 70s or 80s, dude. Look, 68. Dude, he would fucking levitate, and like he would astral project and do mass in two places at once, and people can confirm that he was there.
He was a Catholic priest?
Yeah, he was a friar. So a friar is just kind of like, the friars are like the lowest, like their thing is poverty.
Yeah.
They want to live, they want to sleep on the floor, they eat the very bare minimum.
I've always wondered that, what the friar was. Okay.
Yeah, they like wear that one brown robe, that's it, bro. They're like real minimal. Like and then they get sent on these crazy missions, bro. They get sent to like Brazil in like the poorest church to fucking be a priest for like a year or two, you know? And like you got rice to eat and shit, you know?
So like he just got all these things just one day, they just appeared on his hands.
So that he just started.
Like, does it just happen like he wake up, or is it like over 4 months?
So
period?
since he was young, bro, he was like, he'll tell you the truth, bro. Like he'll see your sin, and like if you go confess, he'll be like, you ain't gonna tell me about this shit, and people will be like, what the fuck? You know, he'll like check you. He'll be like, nah, like don't come over here with that bullshit, bro. Come over here when you really mean it. You know, like he was tough.
Yeah.
But then he started, so he was real, he was devoted to God, dude. So they say that is a level of like God saying like thank you, and kind of like being like, damn, you're that pure and you're that real, that you start getting the stigmata. But like they have the gloves, and like he would hide them, but his parish would force him to show him, and he said that the blood would smell like roses, like petals and shit, you know. But he was embarrassed about it, right? But dude, he had several occurrences where he was doing a mass and he was somewhere else doing a mass, but he was like 10 feet in the air.
Yeah, but see, that one's just like, I mean,
no, for sure. But dude, there's like books on it, and, and there's like documentaries.
No, I believe it, because I mean, you see that type of stuff. You see people who cry the glass, and you see people who cry the blood.
That one.
And
try that one.
Yeah.
No. My bad. Go back.
Dude, bro, he was ill, bro, and I mean, and it's like, this is kind of like
to the left.
I wonder
right.
if like his faith was just like he just believed it so much that he manifested.
Does he show it on
Yeah.
But he never asked for the stigmata, bro. He said that shit would hurt too, you know? But it would bleed. And look, that's still his body right now, dude. He hasn't rotted.
Where?
You see
That
he's
one?
laying up right there.
The one he's on?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Like he died in '68, and his body's still very well preserved. So that's the kind of shit that's crazy because, like, if you look at the theory on that,
But it seems unbelievable.
yeah,
You know,
it does. And I
Yeah.
mean, what if it is fake, bro?
But what if it is real?
What if it's real?
See, did they cover his hands right there? Though?
Yeah, no, I think his hands actually are rotting. I
Turned
think that looks
black,
like
yeah.
Oh yeah, they
But-
look
Because
right.
why don't you see the hole right there?
Well, oh no, it looks like it is covered.
Like,
huh?
because that would seem like something you would
Yeah,
advertise.
yeah.
Like,
Right,
this is
right,
the
right.
grandeur of this
Yeah.
guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know,
Yeah.
like, it's not.
But
to,
they wouldn't come all the time.
I don't know. Like we can do some research on it. I mean, it says like how often or whatever. Look up how often did he.
Because I remember from the Keanu Reeves movie, Stigmata. Was it
I didn't watch
Stigmata?
that one. Constantine?
Oh, Constantine. My bad. Yeah, Constantine. There
I
was
didn't
a,
watch that one. I didn't watch it, but yeah.
but there was a Stigmata movie with I think Halle Berry.
Yeah. I
But-
haven't seen either.
But yeah, his would come and go. I'm not saying this is the
Yeah,
same,
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
look, every day throughout his life with the stigmata. See, now, I don't know if he got the holes, but he would bleed from there. But, I mean, I think he did got the, if I'm not mistaken, he did have the holes.
Yeah, what?
The wounds of the
Yeah.
entirety of his life. So, and to see, so he had the wounds the entirety of his life until his death.
I mean, they even had that piece of toast that had Jesus' face on it, like that.
Hey,
But that was like
what
on some.
converted me.
But no, but
You
that
know
was
what I'm
some
saying?
real
That was what I
shit.
believed. Like,
But you don't,
yeah.
you don't like even that, like something as simple as, or even a tortilla, I think that had Jesus on there.
yeah.
Like,
Virgin, I think.
yeah, it had the Virgin Mary.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. Like, I think people need signs
Yeah.
and
yeah.
some confirmation to like something that's so
Yeah.
unbelievable.
But that's the thing about Catholics, because you know the saints, right? Like a lot of people misconstrued, or what is it?
Misconstrue. Yeah.
Misconstrue that Catholics pray to saints. We don't pray to saints.
Mhm.
We pray to the saints to pray for us because they're closer to Jesus, right?
Yeah.
So you know how like Jesus says you can't come to the Father unless through me,
Yeah.
right? That's the Christian way. Like you can't pray to God anymore. You got to go through Jesus, and Jesus tells God, hey, forgive them, you know? So that's kind of what Mary is to Jesus.
Yeah.
And that's what the saints are to Jesus. Like so we pray for the saints because they're like, it's like, you know, you need forgiveness for birth, you're going to come to me, I'm closer to birth. So I'm like, hey man, look, hear me out. You know, it's kind of like
Playing the middleman.
It has a,
Yeah.
there's a beauty about it, bro, because it's like communion and like, you know, Mary was
see,
given
'cause-
to us. You
But
know?
then again, Jesus isn't like in either Christianity or Catholicism. Jesus still isn't like, and this might ruffle feathers, but Jesus isn't God. Like Jesus is God, right? But like God is like God. Like you know what I'm
Right.
saying? The whole Trinity thing, right? You know, if everybody's on the same page or whatever. But it's just like you're supposed to like, because Jesus is the intermediary to God. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you going through two middlemen at this point. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, so you're going through someone who was a human to go through
And
you
an
know,
anointed,
Christ,
an anointed human,
an
and
anointed
then
human, yeah.
Jesus.
Well,
And, yeah.
they, Catholics are set that Christ is God.
Yeah,
Because
you know,
it's like-
agreed. Same thing with us, but
Yeah.
it's just like so, like at
yeah,
least the way
God
that
the Father.
in the religion, you know, in the Christian religion, for us, like the churches, they teach us like you pray to God, but you end it in Jesus' name. So you be like, you know, make your petition.
Homage to both.
Yeah, in Jesus'
Right,
name, because
right,
Jesus
yeah.
is the intermediary.
Because Jesus is the offering.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why,
Jesus is the
like,
offering.
dude,
Yeah.
there's like a mantra, a Catholic mantra that says, most precious blood of Christ, save us in the whole world. You just say that, dude. It's like a prayer that you can say like 500 times. You know, it's like it's like a novena. So that's what that is. You know,
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
like. It's a mediator, so that's what I'm saying. So sometimes that's what kind of makes sense because then it's like not necessarily hierarchy, which I mean it is, but there's like, you know, because it's like Mary, like, you know, Hispanics, Mexicans, like Mary is like everything, you know. But so that's what people say. Well, you can't pray to Mary. You can't pray to anybody but God. We pray that Mary prays for us. You know, we pray that she intercedes. That she's like, hey, you know, this guy needs you.
I
So
vouch for him.
Jesus
I've been
is
watching
more
him too.
sensitive to his mom.
That's my boy.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
but also
yeah.
in the beginning, like when Christ died, like he tells John, like, behold your mother, right?
Yeah.
And, like, the translation of that from the Catholic side is that she's saying, this is your mother to the world.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
why we pray to her like that's our mother, like that's our gentle, soft like mother, like I need you,
Yeah.
you know, under your cloak.
Mhm.
And that's why it's crazy, dude. That's like the beautiful parts about the Catholic prayers, man. But
Yeah.
I do think
No,
that
I think it's a very elegant religion. Like,
It is,
like
it
you
is.
know,
It
you go
can
to the
be.
old churches and stuff. Like we went to Spain.
oh
Like,
yeah,
I was probably 19, 20 years old.
cathedrals.
Bro, to see that is just like,
Yeah.
God, this is. It does feel very holy. It's very overwhelming. You go inside one of those.
Compared to
cathedrals.
like a mega church, which is just
Yeah,
like
that's just
it's,
like
it's weird,
the
man.
summit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you go into those churches out there or whatever, or even like some American ones, just the stained glass and all that type of
Yeah.
stuff. It's very like reverent.
Yeah, you
Like,
feel
know what
that
I'm saying?
peace,
Like,
yeah.
it's overwhelming.
And
It's
that's
like,
a tradition I talked about earlier,
Yeah.
like that I appreciate, that I still hold dear with the Catholic faith, is like
Yeah.
that tradition to just be in there in that moment, in that
Yeah.
atmosphere, and then just to be true to yourself, like, man, I know there's something bigger than me. Like,
yeah.
I choose this place
just
to just become humble again,
Yeah.
and just ask for help.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, but my heart,
I'm
my
here.
intentions.
Yeah. Because I think that's the human
Yeah,
experience.
yeah.
I don't think a lot of us. I mean, some people are convinced with whatever they're doing, but like, you really don't know until we know. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so it's just like
until you're
you know,
gone and
yeah.
you're not coming
Yeah.
back.
I really don't understand atheism. Like, I understand any other religion out there. Like, I get why, especially being raised, the way that people are raised or whatever. It's like that's what you were introduced to. Hit with that for the 18 years of your life. Of course, that's what you're going to turn out to be. But, there's got to be some sort of creator. I can't do the whole, like, I don't understand not believing in a God, period.
Right.
Like,
Right, or a higher power.
yeah,
you
that's
know?
what I mean, like a
Yeah.
higher power, God, whatever you would, like, refer that to, you know what I'm saying? So,
Cause then you go into the alien shit and the Anunnakis and like all
Yeah.
that shit, bro. And like, dude, I was watching another thing and I meant to save it because I think it's on one of the platforms where it's like the Iraq and all that. They're the ones that had what is it? Is it the Anunnaki
the Nephilim.
or the Nephilim,
Yeah,
right?
Well, that's
Yeah.
where it's supposed to be a portal, is a
And where they're supposed to be buried too.
Yeah, and it goes back to like some of the movies they made. Stargate, like
Yeah.
there's supposed to be a Stargate over there.
Well, what was it? The '90s war, right? Supposedly that's where we found it.
yeah.
Where we got it.
See, but
you heard
like
about that?
there-
What, that the 90s,
The-
what, the
There was
Gulf War?
Yeah.
Saddam Hussein had a portal,
Yeah.
right?
Well, all that stuff is believable to me for sure. Like, you know what I'm
Shit's
saying?
crazy,
Because,
bro.
I mean, that's where all that stuff, that's to me, that cradle of, like, mankind type stuff is, like, that Israel-Palestine little area. Like, that's where everything...
there's some shit popped off
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
very
yeah,
historical.
yeah,
There's a
yeah.
fight for a reason there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. In the pyramids, bro, and all that, like,
There's a story there.
yeah, like, but those monuments have lasted for how long? And we don't really know how long. We assume we know the exact age, but do we really?
What, the pyramids
No,
in
we
Egypt?
don't.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All around the world.
Yeah, all around the world. I was going to say, because I think
The
Egypt
Mexican-
got the least amount of
Yeah.
ones.
Have you
Yeah.
been to the Mexican ones?
No, I haven't seen the Mexican ones yet. Yeah, I
Bro,
missed out on
we
that.
should go, man.
I would love to. That's on the bucket list, man.
Yeah.
Or some pyramid. I just wanted to go to one at least.
Yeah, I want to do the one. I think it's in like Peru or something like that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
when the equinox comes, the sun like hits the top, and then it catches the light, and then it goes all the way down the pyramid
Yeah.
and out the mouth of like a dragon or
Yeah,
something.
nice.
So some cool
yeah.
shit. You can only see it for that 5 minutes.
Yeah.
or
It's
like
whatever.
while it's
While the
creeping
sun's
through
in that
there.
spot.
Yeah, once a year. So that's one of the ones on the bucket list for me because, that's like, I couldn't do that right now with an iPhone, you know what I'm saying, everything, that's
Right.
afforded to me, so.
Well, if we're talking about conspiracies like that, it's been, again, it's the internet, so I'm taking it with a grain of salt, but they talk about the satanic cults, and we've talked about it. We've talked about this shit a lot, just in general, like whether it's in Hollywood and all that, but just satanic cults in general. They do a lot of like sacrificing, and they also have a belief system of moons in certain times, and there's certain alignments within the calendar when you do sacrifices and stuff, and there's a lot on the internet to dive into where a lot of these things were like this portal that they had in New York, that it was just this big artist piece apparently that this artist built, but it looks like a portal. It's kind of scary looking. It's got like almost looks like demons kind of like going through it, and but when they released it was also a corresponding date with like the some of these satanic rituals on these blood moons and all this shit. Mm-hmm. So it's weird if you think Catholics are weird for what they believe in and that it's just a bunch of magic or whatever, just realize these people that we're also talking about have that same type of faith in something that I feel is more dark.
Oh, that's definitely way more dark. Yeah.
Because they'll talk about Christians like we're the worst people, you know?
Yeah. For me, it's just more so. It's just like, hey, we all have the power to, call on our God. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even like talk about like last rites and stuff like that. Just from the minimal I know, it's just like, we do have that direct, you know what I'm saying? Like access. That's more so what I mean. But yeah, the satanic shit is crazy. Crazy. Yeah.
It is because it's like, if that's real, then the other's gotta be real, If they're like going,
Yeah. So,
but I want to see what this Pope thing was about, dude. Apparently on Christmas Day he's supposed to be opening some kind of portal. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's like some kind of door that they had closed for like decades or centuries or something. Let's see if we can.
I know, but I know Nostradamus. His Pope predictions stopped at this Pope.
Oh yeah.
Nostradamus, his Pope predictions stopped at this current
this
Pope.
What was his prediction?
No, like the list of popes. That was he's just the
number?
last one.
Like the number? Oh wow. But I mean, the way the world is going, bro, I wouldn't be surprised.
Ain't no telling.
But it's like, and one thing about Christianity, bro, is that it is the one that is the hardest, heaviest, and most ridiculed.
Yeah, well, for a reason, though.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it is that, and Christ already predicted that. That's prophetic as far as, like, I didn't come here to bring y'all together.
Yeah.
How the apostles died.
Yeah. He said, mother against daughter, father against son. Like, I came to bring the sword. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And he said, remember when they hate you, that they hated me first.
Yeah.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
I like that
fuck
shit.
the world, man. Like,
Well, look what we're getting through now. Because we're being honest about our feelings about how we feel on certain things, people are turning their backs
Right.
or calling us,
Yeah.
the evil.
But they
like,
watching.
Yeah. No. Well, I don't give a fuck if they're watching.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
Because
it's like, hopefully we plant those seeds, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
We still love you.
The truth is out there, though, and it's up to you to decide. But if you're going to be so opinionated on it where you're willing to
Create the division.
Right, divide.
Or give them the satisfaction to create that division.
Follow their orders, whatever you want to
Yes.
call it. It's just being weak. And we need people on this side, too, even if you're weak, because that doesn't mean you don't have a purpose.
Yeah.
That's why we talk about, there still are worker bees necessary in a business, in a government, like a farm. The farmer can't be the one picking all the crops. He needs people to help him.
And tending the cows.
Yeah,
and the herds
right.
and all
Like
that,
everybody has a job.
It
That
takes a
doesn't
village,
mean,
man.
yeah. And to think that, like I forgot you were having a conversation with someone about like, well, what are you trying to do about all this shit we're talking about?
Yeah.
It's
my nephew.
See,
But hey, he
that?
ruffled my feathers.
Yeah, but nephew, we trying to change through just this conversation by opening the dialogue because people, unfortunately, are too scared to have it or too narrow-minded to even think outside of their box.
Yeah.
And if you've experienced enough people in your life, negative and positive, you realize it isn't always just black and white. There's a lot of gray in here, and sometimes that gray is mystical. It's not just found in the book. Sometimes it's found through history and through stories because
or hidden history.
Right, but it's still there
also
for
right
us.
here, dude, because it's like you guys have a lot more, I guess, receipts, on the shit that y'all studied and the stuff that like means like to be a human or a man or financially stable, a provider, whatever, right? I've always been more of an intuition. Like I've always had this intuition of like a message or a signal that I get from a higher power, whether it's the universe, whether it's God, whether it's my guardian angel, whether it's energies, whether it's vibration, But I think I should listen to it, because like at the age that I am today, 43 years old, I've neglected that. I've always doubted that, and it's like if I would have, and I'm good, nothing. By the grace of God, nothing bad has ever happened to me. Or the worst case scenario that I created in my head has never gotten there, nor even halfway there.
Yeah.
So if I would have lived my life more in tune with that intuition, bro, I know I'd be in a better place because I took a lot of risk or didn't take a lot of risk that probably would have had me where I should have been in the house level, financially more knowledgeable on what really matters in our existence. Because I'm more like, man, like. Certain things we don't need or certain things are unnecessary, but we have to adapt. We have to follow it and we have to be a part of it or play the game, serve the Matrix in the way the Matrix should be served, not the way that it wants to be served, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think also listen to that a little bit, and it's like now I think because of that programming, because of the religious, like the things that blind us, the layers that they put over the veil have caused that doubt in myself, have caused that in uncertainty, like, damn, one step in, one step back, So I just encourage everybody to like do this, like surround yourself with good people.
I think it's important to remember too, even back in the old days, the seers or the medicine man or whatever, they weren't wealthy. They weren't, they were there to help the village and help the people, and
they were wealthy in another way, right?
Right. But they were taken care of by everyone else.
Yeah.
And I think that's something big to speak on just to who you are, because like I've told you before, us getting into this industry of creating content on YouTube and putting yourselves out there in a podcast format and being real with people you've never fucking met, but you're hoping this message comes out because I felt that energy out of you. We're imperfect, right? Like nobody's perfect. I kick myself 1,000 times a night on how I fucked up, or I could have used this time better, or I could have just, 10 moves back, I should have done this. But, we're all our own worst critics, but it takes people knowing, and this is why I love meeting people. It's like, you might not know yourself, bro, but just from what I met from you, dude, I fuck with you because your vibes are right, your energy, your intentions are at least pure. Yeah, because I'll feel the negative too, and I'm like, all right, this guy's just out for certain things, like. But you're one of those energy bottoms. Like everyone's affected. Like, oh fuck, Pablo, man. Like, yeah, and then
I appreciate that, man. Because I try. Because it is hard being a human. It really is. And like everybody's upcoming, or was it upcoming? Like growing up. Like, like
everyone's story is different.
Mm-hmm. Like because until you become conscious, until when you become conscious, like, oh shit, this is really real. Like thoughts and decisions have consequences, or they'll lead me certain ways. Like, man, then we don't really know what the fuck we're doing. And even when we do know what we're doing, we learn something new, and you're like, fuck. Well, now this shit.
When obviously money doesn't project that in positivity, because we see people who are worth billions or millions who are fucking just the worst of the worst. Mm-hmm. Like P Diddy, fucking fucking kitty cats. Like all that shit. Like that's why like money's so subjective on your success, because it's being aware of your power just as a human to the humans you interact with. And to see like these Puff Daddies and these Weinsteins, these Epsteins, and to see people right now just kind of write them off like it's no big deal. Yeah. It shows us where we're at in our society right now. Mm-hmm. And most of these people are too afraid to just look in the mirror and say, damn, do I not care that much? Like, am I that dead inside? But I like people's pictures. I comment on people's stuff. I should be good, right? Like, but we don't. Our peers are losing it. Yeah. And then they're losing it to their kids, and then, we're going off the deep end quick. But this stuff we're talking about, faith and God and just life experiences. I just hope that that's enough for this moment in time to like change a few minds and ruffle some feathers and keep this boat afloat.
And like, call for the new beginning, because man, you could start over at any moment. You could really reinvent yourself right now. You don't have to wait for a Monday or a first of the year or a first of the month or next week. You can start right now. You can just say, okay, half of the day sucked. Today I'm gonna fucking do what I say I'm gonna do. Write that shit down. Get it done. And I'm talking to myself, because I'm in that transition where I'm like trying to get myself organized. Like I have a new schedule, and it's good because it shows me a lot of who I am and a lot of my behavior and that, like, knowing your goods and your bads, your uglies, and embracing them, because they're strengths as well as poverties.
Yeah. But it's just being able to self-reflect and be honest with yourself and not lie to yourself. Yeah. And most people lie to themselves, I think. Yeah. Yeah, they're like, today was. I think they lie the most that they're happy, to be honest. I think people most lie about themselves that they're happy because they got the car they wanted, because they're living in the neighborhood they wanted. It don't matter that they're, $20,000 deep in debt. Yeah. It doesn't matter that they lose a lot of friends, or their circle's always changing, or, You know, they're watching the trash on TV and just
every weekend getting drunk.
Forgetting
the week.
Right, waiting for Friday.
Drowning the week or drowning the failures.
Or talking shit about their homegirl that they just been on the phone with for 45 minutes and having the greatest conversation and just hang up and be like, ugh, that bitch. Like we need to find happiness again. And I think that just starts with back into just like looking back at yourself and realizing like, man,
so
I can be all right.
Let's name it quality of life.
Yeah, you're gonna hear me say that.
Right? Because it's like, man, dude, like you could do little small things every day that can start improving your life and bring in that quality. Like, because it's not like, man, like say for instance today I wanted to wake up right at 4. You know, I snoozed till like 4:15. You know, and like I'm already beating myself up. You know, but then when I got to work, I was like, nah, fuck that. I still have the rest of the day. You know, I'm gonna get my workout in. We're gonna come do this, and like. Finding those moments where like you have to stay in your own mind, you have to stay in your own head, telling yourself like kicking your own ass in a good way, you know, like in a motivational way. Cause like I had, you know, that one dude, God, I can't remember his name. He's got dreadlocks. No, he's at the gym. He's at the gym.
Oh, okay.
He used to play college ball.
Oh yeah, super.
He's super cool.
A lot of people say we got the same frame.
I was like, well, maybe.
A lot of people say
Tones add a little weight.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm talking about, right? With the dreadlocks?
Yeah.
So he was like I was in the middle of my like probably fourth set, and I lay down. I was calling Mary, and he's like, hey, get off that phone, keep going. It's like you got it, you know. And like I took that, I was like, come on, you know. But I love that, you know, because it got me going, bro.
I heard him talking to his girl like that outside. Yeah.
But it's like, and obviously, you know, it was funny, but it was loving, it was real shit. But I was like, you know what, like, I'm gonna take that like as he meant it, like.
But you got it. To me, that's how I am with myself.
Yeah.
Like you have to hold yourself accountable because there's nobody else whose job it is to do that, except for your wife or your family, depending on where you are in life.
And even then, you have the choice to be like,
right.
But if you do it yourself, man, that changes things.
But it goes back to that discipline and just being like, you know what, I set these intentions and these are my top intentions. Like the other shit can go to the wayside, but if my job is to save $1,000 in the bank, it has to be. All right, I told myself $20 each day. I got to put it away. But like I think that's where we all always keep, you know, failing. It's like, all right, we'll make the plan, and then I'll just write it out. Yeah. And then instead, that top 5 should be your fucking goal every day. Because then you're just gonna keep making excuses about other shit. Well, it was hot. You know, like I don't have to work out today, or I did go out last night. You know, and then it just bees this snowball effect of just of always wanting something, but just not understanding why it didn't happen.
Yeah, they be so overconfident in the future, like, oh yeah, I got plenty of time. You
know,
Christmas is coming up, I'm gonna make some more money or whatever because of the holidays. It's like, but then they be underconfident whenever they spend. You know that they're up to, they want to save 1,000, they get to 600, they spend 2 of it, and they're like, oh man, I don't know if I can do it again. Dude, that was tough. Like, you know, so. Yeah.
It's just those small disciplines that, you know, and this is what changed me. Like we talked about those moments. I had told my old man when I was younger, I was like, man, I can't save money. He's just like, I was like, well, how do you do it? He's like, well, that's the difference between a man and a boy. He's like, a man will save his money. A boy's just gonna spend it. He's like,
he can't. I can, but I can't. But
yeah, he's like, that's what the big boys do. It's like they don't need 12 accounts. One account's just for groceries. One account's just for your car.
You
like,
just know what you gotta do.
It's coming from the same bank. I mean, obviously you'll have different accounts for different businesses and stuff, but the main point was just like it's just all up here.
Yeah.
And it's saying, all right,
man. No more excuses, dude. I'm gonna make a vow right now.
Yeah, gotcha.
I'm gonna get on my shit.
Well, man, we're new frontiers, Miggies. We want to do big things. Y'all are realizing, how hard it is to really be self-made. You know, like it's way easier to get a W-2. It's way easier to get paid every 2 weeks.
But is it though? Is it? Like it is? It is like that.
On the surface level.
Because you sacrifice something. You sacrifice one or the other. You know what I'm saying?
That 2 to 3 years of like taking that L, I guess. You know, because you have to put yourself out there. You gotta be confident enough to say, hey, I'll give you a good tattoo and it's not gonna look bad and you're gonna pay me $400 for it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
You know, but it takes a lot.
But I did plenty of $60, $80, $100 tattoos.
Yeah.
Even that were worth more than that at that
Yeah.
time. But because I was on the grind mode and I needed to get the practice and the time in, you sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would I do it differently now? But I taught myself how to do it. So this is still the trail that I made for myself. So I can't regret any of those decisions. But the lessons were still learned, and being able to just have that humility of like, man, I went from not knowing how to tattoo to working on my homegirl for the first time. You know, the first few lines were like, man, this is pretty easy. And then I go wipe and nothing went in the skin. And I just I'm sweating and
They got them sweats.
bro, and I'm at the house, like there's no mentor in front of me saying, hey, no, like this is what you need to do. Like, and then, you know, to have people around me, like those few people, those beginning people like Pablo, Casey, all these people, they were like, nah, man, just go for it. Like, you know, the respect was always given to y'all, to those people. Not for me trying to be like, man, I'll just be the best tattoo artist for me, you know. It was more just like, this type of job, there's so much trust in it. Like, I didn't even realize it. That's what made it such a beautiful job, because one, you're trusting me not to fuck up your skin and to have some image that you saw in your head that you don't even know what it is, but I can, you know, I'm supposed to translate that
Your
for
version
you.
of it.
Right.
Yeah, but also you know, the testament of that is that, or the truth about that is like the vibe was on point right away, you know, because it's like, we were like, kind of like, well, we don't know this, dude, you know, like, but once we started talking, bro, it was like right away, you know, it was like us. I mean, same shit with y'all too, you know, like, and that's important too, man, like, because that's part of intuition, so intuition is a real thing, you know, but trust, and I mean,
You too, Migs.
Something weird just fucking happened.
What happened?
The door just fucking opened and closed.
How much?
Like literally like a little bit like that.
So
was
just so y'all know, because I got goosebumps right now.
it was like,
Like crying was
so wait, was it like quiet?
Like, it was like instant.
Like what?
What am I supposed to do?
But reaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need that.
Yeah.
You need some holy water.
So for y'all who aren't here, we just had a little ghostly experience. Well,
There's a ghost in the shop.
Oh yeah,
bro.
that's right. Y'all did say that.
she's cute
For
though. She's
real.
sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's a good wrap up,
Yeah,
y'all. Like,
man.
I had a good time, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, man. Happy birthday.
thank
It's
you,
a
man.
birthday
Yeah, happy
episode.
birthday.
Yes.
40. Old man.
40 years old, man. It's good, man. I'm loving it. Really, technically, it's on Thursday, so but I'm still 39.
Yeah.
I'm still in the
Maybe
30s.
maybe we can release
With
it.
you.
Yeah.
we
I'm almost with you.
Yeah,
Just some 30-year-olds hanging out.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
I look 30. At least that's what I've been told.
Oh yeah, that's right. You said you're 42. Yeah.
43.
43.
Yeah. But hey, man, I'm blessed. You know, I got you boys. You know, this is good, man. It's a good time to be alive, and
It's a good ending to the year, getting Trump in. So my boy Trump. I know that's gonna ruffle some feathers.
Yeah,
But
dude.
trust me, if I'm wrong about it, I'm willing to say it and I'm willing to talk about it. Most of y'all Biden people ain't say shit this whole fucking
they don't
past
talk.
4
how y'all
years.
feel about him?
I try to.
Hunter.
You try to talk to them, bro, about it, and they'll just be like, "Well, we're gonna see. It's just like, bro, just tell me how you really feel. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know
We'll
we're gonna
see.
see shit. Yeah. So.
But that's next week's episode, I
Yeah,
guess,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Thank you for tuning in. Peace.